And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Call of Cthulhu, Operation Cathedral. It has been a while. Oh, and I need to adjust my head. Give myself a fatter head.
My head's barely on straight as normally.
But yes, hello and welcome there, Twitch land and YouTube land, and or wherever you may be watching. I am Jodo1025, streamer, kind of turned into the tabletop RPG streamer, although I've been considering streaming some Bannerlord. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, once again, I welcome everyone here to Operation Cathedral, a Call of Cthulhu campaign as part of our Extra Life charity drive. And I am joined here by my wonderful cast members who have all been doing such amazing things while stuck in quarantine, I believe. So, how's everyone been?
To be determined.
Hold on. Hold on. Where is it?
Do you have
I actually have. I think so. Yeah, I'm alive. Just about.
But, yeah, so it's been fun times as some of us are on mandatory lockdown and others are not, and probably should be, except that a certain governor is very silly. But I digress. But yeah. So, and I'm totally not stalling to wait for a few more viewers to pop in, because I do see the ticker going up a bit. So, hello, everybody. But anyway, I am Jodo1025, your keeper of lore of fate. This is part of our Extra Life charity live stream, which will be a big benefit to Children's Miracle Network hospitals, which really need the assistance right now. Hello, Becarius. So, Becarius, if you don't know, happens to be Lord Beebles from the other campaign. He's saying hello. But yeah, Extra Life Charity is a fantastic charity that works hand in hand with Children's Miracle Network. And what they do is they collect money in order to help patients under the age of 18 pay for things such as accommodations, treatment, but most notably help pay for entertainment while people are stuck in hospital, which is very, very much needed right now because there's a lot of people stuck in hospital right now. So it really does make a difference. Check the button down below, below the stream, or you can check the doobly-doo under the video here in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube. But yeah, but Operation Cathedral, donate for the kids. So I do also apologize for us not being live, not last Saturday, the Saturday before. Just life was kind of messing with me that day, so we had to skip. And then, of course, last Saturday was the Terror of the Trask stream. So we're back now, and we're ready to get into it. So who wants to give me a recap from a month ago?
From a month ago, I think something happened between Crow and Scythe. I don't quite remember. But, yeah.
Oh, right. You guys now have a psychic and physical link, so that way if one of you gets hit, the other is also fucked.
Yeah, thanks to an artifact that is currently under research that was used.
Mm-hmm.
And
after
everyone here besides Crow got to take a scary test to join the Suppression Bureau.
Oh shit, that was the same session, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had to undergo
no sense of time.
And those were the pilot episodes for Suppression Bureau.
Yep, prologue is now ended. We have begun chapter 1 in earnest.
Several years later.
We
Oh,
wish.
you fucking wish.
7 days later.
You
Minutes
wish.
Later. 7 seconds later.
Yeah, and technically Midnight Crow almost had to go through the trial, kind of, because he dealt with Riley's pain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we all were also given our code names.
Yep.
I don't remember anyone's but my own, except Midnight Crow.
I am now Gold Lore.
Yeah, Gold Lore, I'm Fortune Seeker. And then
We
Fire
have
Engineer?
No.
Engineer.
I thought I wrote it down. I might not have.
I might, let me pull up my notes because I forgot to do
Where
that.
did I
I
put that
think
note?
I did.
I thought I wrote it down. I could have swore I wrote it down.
Where's my Riley notes?
It might have been Phoenix. It might have been something. I don't remember.
Da, 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 da.
Oh, apparently I didn't write it down.
Firebrand.
Thank you.
Yeah. Knew it had something to do with fire.
It's in character. I don't remember shit.
Yeah, I think that's
That's fair.
everyone. Which I should probably I could do things
Cat.
with the doobly doo now.
Doobly doo. Going up the mountain. Doobly doo.
Going through the door.
Doobly doo. I gotta keep guard. It's the wrong one. Oh boy.
Yep, I can add. I'm adding everyone's else's code names.
Hold on.
Actually, I am too.
So yeah, sorry, I easily distracted. On top of that, I do apologize in advance if we have technical difficulties. There was a big update with Zoom, which is how we get everyone's faces in earlier. And then on top of that, it also seems like OBS has also updated at some point. So,
Scotty, quit yelling.
and of course the cat is trying to rouse as well. So
I mean,
yeah, so you could already tell this is a super professional stream. where
Absolutely.
my
Most
yeah,
professional.
all right. Does anyone else want to touch on anything else from the recap?
Well, oh yeah. It's not only we have a psychic link. You've got shed health.
Oh yeah, you both
Oh,
have
yeah.
25 HP now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Which makes us both the strongest and weakest.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun
It's gonna
jazz.
be interesting.
Yeah. So our wonderful players discovered that they now possess a entwined link with one another. So, and so far, what they've discovered thus far is that they can call up certain memories here or there. They can probe one another mentally, and they feel each other's pain. That is what they know about this link thus far. So, and we'll see if more comes to light, if there is more. Or perhaps I'm just messing with their minds, because that's what what I do, because I am the keeper, and I like missing the people.
Whoa. Sorry about that.
I'm like, whoa, not that kind of stream, amigo.
Oh my god, I completely forgot you guys had those two things too. Oh man.
Sorry. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. I do apologize.
Yep.
Some light maintenance. There we go.
But yes, our intrepid investigator team, the three who essentially got brought in for this one investigation, now have joined the ranks of the Suppression Bureau officially now. Not been given much of a choice. They're just with the way that the dice rolled and how fate has decreed, now, for better or for worse, Hunter Wallace, Riley Thompson, and Zoe Zimmerman are now bound
In the shit together.
bound to the Suppression Bureau and the fight of the Bureau. So, who wants to give the audience a quick recap about what investigation you guys were working on? Again, it's been about a month, so this is a good thing to touch on real quick.
Sure. So we are investigating. There was an artifact that was shipped to the U.S. that has gone missing. A particular staff, I believe it was like the Red Staff or something, Ruby Staff, something along those lines.
Yeah, the Red Scepter.
Red Scepter, thank you. And we have been tasked to track down and investigate that, and we believe that it has some connection to an investigator that Zoe knows, Von Braun, though in the previous session before last, Hunter and Zoe had an encounter with Von Braun, who said that he was not the one who took it, and said that he was part of some sort of brotherhood that works as their own entity, but also has a relationship of sorts with the Suppression Bureau.
It's a cult. Let's be real. It's a cult.
It's a cult that has some sort of relation with the Suppression Bureau, and he's asking for the logic as to why he would take the scepter when he works with the Bureau.
Right.
To a certain extent. And a bitch called Nightshade is the one in charge of finding Von Braun, and she's just a bitch. But that's just personal opinion. And Hunter's opinion as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll say right here.
Depression Bureau. I would just like to say, that's me.
That's valid.
That's just me.
I think, no, it's not just you, TK, it's me too, it's okay.
I'm the CEO of the Depression Bureau.
That's a mood right there.
Alright. Well, with that, excuse me, let us get back into it. So the camera comes in. We start off with a good overlook of the entirety of Washington, D.C. For those of you just tuning in who aren't aware, this particular campaign takes place 1924, the Roaring Twenties, in Washington, D.C. in America. Very, very iconic time and place in a world that is very much like ours, but yet different. And the camera soon pans in on, and we come down on the red brick building, very nondescript, and we just kind of go down in and down to the Suppression Bureau barracks, where everyone now has been assigned essentially your own personal quarters here within the Bureau building, to act as kind of like your second home away from home. Crow, this is very familiar to you. You remember getting your barracks bunk when you were just a little tiny initiate. But each of you have been granted a room to do with what you please. But for now, we're going to look into more of the common area where all four of you have assembled, along with Red Stag, who is just kind of sipping on some tea for a moment as he's reading a report before putting it down. Well, you all passed, which there wasn't too much doubt, but it was always good to not have someone prove me wrong, so to speak. So now that everyone here is now part of the order, this should open up a lot more doors for all of you and should clear some of the red tape. So, okay, that's TK.
That's me. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. The cat is just yelling in the background, but but Red Stag kind of looks over at all of you, and what are you guys doing in the break room? Or this essentially little common area, essentially.
So, do I know what the current time is?
It's probably morning, like the morning after the trial.
Okay, in which case I'm just gonna be sitting down in a chair, kind of reading like a newspaper, if there is one to hand.
Yeah, there's definitely a newspaper.
Sweet.
I am also drinking a cup of tea, but nobody probably has any idea where I've gotten the cup, saucer, and tea.
Or if it's in fact actually tea.
Or if it's actually tea. It appears to be a cup of tea. There's a tea bag and everything, but is it tea? I don't know. You don't know either.
It could be literal mint.
How about you, Riley?
Riley is still not looking the most happy there. She has resting bitch face on like normal. She's kind of sitting there impatiently waiting for whatever to happen.
Okay. And how about you, Zoe?
I would probably be reading a book of some kind. Maybe a mystery novel. Who knows? And probably with you said it was morning?
Yeah.
About? Either have a cup of coffee or even soda if I can get my hand on it.
Probably not soda because soda doesn't come bottled quite yet.
Oh, alright. So yeah, I'd probably have a cup
around
of coffee.
this time period. It's still like the old soda bars where it's just you have to get the seltzer water and the syrup and let someone mix it.
Right. Yeah, I'd have a cup of coffee then, probably.
Our cat is literally trying to summon an eldritch being in my living room.
Literally trying to summon Cthulhu.
When is she not trying to summon an eldritch being, though, really?
She probably tries to summon one when you guys are asleep.
I would like to clarify that Scotty is an eldritch being. She would like to go home.
That is fair.
Oh.
That's fair.
Yeah, so, but,
Scotty, phone home.
yeah.
Got the firm her.
But,
oh, man.
But, yeah, but Red Stag lays out a file and looks to you, Crow's like, so Crow, here is the current file on Von Braun.
All right.
Now that everyone is in, and after a little bit of finagling, you now can access his personnel file. Just keep in mind that if it looks like the object of the artifact is within his possession, that you should work with Scarlet. Or was it Scarlet or Nightingale? I forget.
Nightshade.
Nightshade.
Jeepers. Hi. I totally am totally in control here.
Not a plant. It is a bird and a nightingale.
Yeah. But
Whoa.
you should work with Operative Nightshade, since technically she has priority on apprehending Von Braun. She does. Her and her team technically have higher clearance, so we got.
So what you're saying? So what I'm hearing is we should establish ties between Nightshade and us.
Yeah, and possibly make some sort of peace offering. I don't know what you all have done to.
Well, let's just say we're not. Well, let's just say we're not on good terms. We're gonna kind of look over.
Precisely nothing to be on bad terms. She is just a bitch.
I'm just gonna just get that.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Anyway, tell me I'm wrong. That's what I thought.
No comment.
Exactly.
Well, either way, try to play nice. And if it turns out that Von Braun has it, you should work with her. So, her and her team have a little bit more experience in apprehending notables. As my cat is knocking No, don't you knock that over, cat!
Oh shit.
Okay, talk about yourselves for just a second. I gotta run.
Save yourself.
You know,
That is all right.
This is an excellent time to mention our lovely charity that we are using. So, you've heard of them. You've heard of, Extra Life. It all benefits Children's Miracle Network. So you should take any money that you have that you can spare. I understand this is a terrible, terrible time of quarantine right now. But anything you have to spare to help a kid in need would be fantastic. So don't forget, support your charities. There's a cat on the screen. Cat supports charities. Okay? Donate to
so
Children's Miracle
unhappy.
Network and Extra Life Charity today.
He looks so unhappy.
He's very upset.
Yep. She's
And
mad because I
please-
wouldn't let her knock over the Alfredo jar.
Oh, Scotty, no. Oh. You should let go of her, John.
Put her in a burrito.
Okay, but
And please do not mind my cats apparently spazzing out in the background.
I mean, I think
Everybody has cats, and I'm just sitting here by myself.
4 out of 5 people here have cats that like to scream bomb, so fine.
don't
mine
need
are
to
just
send
running
Scotty
around.
Don't need to
home.
send Scotty home.
Okay, you little troublemaker, knock it off.
Mine are just running around hissing like crazy.
Yell at me.
Oh.
There goes Toby again.
Having fun, everyone.
But
There seem to be a lot of strays in this area.
I don't know if you guys can see her running back and forth between the scratching posts and I don't even know where.
anyway,
Feel the zoomies. Anyway.
so, but yeah. So, did anyone have any questions for Mr. Stagg?
Well, from what you can discern, is there anything that you can tell us that we've not already found out?
From your report, I can tell that you seem to be onto something about the curator. Just so, however, it's very concerning that the curator of all people have disappeared now of all times. We have gotten word that he has not shown up for shift in 3 days now.
The curator.
The curator.
Lord.
Yes, probably the one that supposedly checked in the package of the Red Scepter.
The very same. However, there is very extensive
Extenuating?
extensive training and factors to prevent curators from defecting or being afflicted by artifacts. And And if he has been compromised, this would set a new precedent. So, however, far more likely, and this is just my old, how do you Americans say, gumshoe intuition? That possibly that the curator has been either taken or killed.
Or both.
Or both.
Well, we can only hope that he's just disappeared off the face of the earth. It's too much. Should we go and maybe secure the scene? Or is that already taken care of by Nightshade?
So, Nightshade is not responsible for that, but we do have some agents on the ground by the curator's estate. All of you are being given clearance to go examine the estate, possibly turn up something.
See what we can garner.
And with hopes, the next lead will bring you closer to the Red Scepter.
Okay.
So we really need. So I cannot stress how important it is to get that artifact on lockdown.
One more thing. I'd like to mention that we were being followed earlier. You already know this, obviously, but what would be the best course of action to make sure that we don't get followed again?
Well, the best course of action, I would imagine, would be first to determine who was following you.
All right. Well, what takes more precedent right now is finding out what happened to the curator. If we happen to stumble into those who are trying to follow us again, I say that we take a more direct approach.
Well, it could be possible. The person who dealt with the curator is also dealing with us for knowing too much.
Perhaps. Well, we'll just have to see what we can do. All right. Thank you very much, Red Stag. I'll be on my way.
Indeed. I will also stress, since one thing did lead to this very interesting mess. And Red Stag looks directly at Hunter. It's like, you need to make sure you stay at the bureau at night.
It's not my fault.
I
I suggested we stayed at the bureau, and they didn't listen to me.
I'm aware. But
all right.
But you need to stay within the walls. Your unique circumstance makes you very, very vulnerable to other things.
Shenanigans?
While
Yeah,
I
like
can
the thing and the stuff and the thing with the shadow and the too many limbs, that thing, yeah.
Yeah, that thing.
Don't like that thing.
Well, I can appreciate the thought of staying away from the artifact vault, which you should stay away from the artifact vault. It is much safer within the bowels of the bureau than it is out there. So I will reiterate that come the dark of the night, so at the very least, Mr. Wallace needs to be within the walls of the bureau.
I feel a lot safer here than I do out there. So I think I will join Mr. Hunter. Oh, I'm sorry. Firebrand.
All right.
Same thing.
So, all right. Oh, and one last thing before I leave. It is customary for teams of investigators to elect a group name. A hallmark, if you will. We don't need one now, but it'd be it'd be nice for records later on.
I elect one. I'm just saying this out character, by the way. I elect one's the big fucking mess.
The ditch.
One thing out of character in another campaign, our group was collectively known as the shitheads.
Oh.
Oh no, it's them.
I can't help but think to that Puffin Forest video, where they the campaign the party's name was literally the Turtle Shaggers.
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
welcome to Electric Boogaloo. Yes.
Oh.
Oh god.
But yeah, essentially essentially what you're being told is that it's tradition for teams of investigators to elect a group name to be known by, especially if that group is expected to be cohesive for an extended period of time.
Tradition.
So, but, you guys don't need to give one now, but just file that away. I should also note that everyone is permitted to carry their weapons within the bureau now, because everyone's a bureau member.
Big fuck.
Riley
And
needed
now-
that more than anybody else. I'm just happy I can carry around my ball bearings again.
I forget that. Yeah, that's what you carry. Sorry, I completely forgot.
Yeah, I
You
just
just
have a
carry-
whole bunch of junk in my pocket.
You pull out some gears.
I pull out the box, and it's a box with just a whole bunch of random metal.
It's a broken watch. It's in effect a broken
The
watch.
disassembled clock, a broken watch, 300 ball bearings.
Okay.
I mean, I have a boot knife, a bra knife, like what?
Boot
6
knife, bra knife.
pistols.
6 pistols.
Short sword strapped to the middle of your back.
I mean,
Machete just tucked into your leg.
Okay, Blade Runner.
basically.
All I got is my 2 little pistols. 1 bullet each, that's why I got 2 of them.
Okay.
And of
so-
course, extra ammo.
I'm just gonna take another sip of my tea that may or may not be tea.
all right. So
I'm ready to leave whenever you guys are.
Mm,
Bringing this with me. I don't know
same.
where I got this, but I'm bringing it with me.
Okay.
I'm gonna check all my weapons real quick, make sure they're all fully loaded, and I put them away again, and I'm good to go.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sort through my purse and make sure I got everything, because I have decided it's like a bottomless pit of books and tools I may need. So
It's a Mary Poppins bag. Of course it
it
is.
is. It's got a big old Sherlock Holmes magnifier, and oh god, did I even say what all I got in there? I don't think I have ever.
but okay. So where you guys heading?
Well, I know Riley would like to go check out the curator's place.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good start, actually.
I'm just following the nearest person with my tea, quote unquote. This saucer and cup are mine now.
I mean, it's minty, isn't it?
We don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. Unless the DM would like to say.
It tastes faintly of motor oil.
Oh my god.
Delicious.
Take
Finally,
that
some,
one.
delicious. Finally, some good tea.
Oh god.
You asked.
I got more than I wanted.
It's quarantine.
quarantine.
Oh my God.
Props. All right.
10W30.
But yeah. So the so after a little bit, you guys do essentially at this point you guys do hitch a ride with a suppression bureau vehicle to the curator's house. Since it's kind of a closely monitored situation, so there's agents going out to be posted out there. So you guys hitch a ride with some of them.
To the suppressed mobile.
Yeah. So yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading a question from somebody real quick. So the suppressed mobile. But yeah, you guys. You guys are taken out there, and the estate is exactly that. It's an estate. So it is clear that the curator was someone well-to-do, and was not left wanting for money. It's at least a 3-story townhouse in the nice part of DC. This is where politicians live.
Oh.
This is the kind of area that the ones rich and with power tend to live when they're staying in DC.
Well, lucky us.
And you do notice that there's the townhouse in particular that you are looking at. Doesn't look like there's anybody there until you notice that across the way there's a couple of suits reading a newspaper on a bench, kind of. And so you could definitely start picking out that there are Suppression Bureau agents keeping an eye on the property.
Mm-hmm.
Make an athletics check to escape the corrupted heart.
Well,
So it doesn't look like there's been people or anybody living there for a while.
So from the outside, what you can tell is that the door is closed, and it's a big fancy red door. And the only mark that you can see is that there is a Suppression Bureau marking above the doorknob. Just as a
marking about the doorknob.
Yeah, it's essentially just the bureau's way of just marking, hey, this area is currently of interest to the bureau, and it's essentially code to tell the regular police to sod off.
Okay.
And that
Sure.
the bureau has priority.
I get you. All right. And then bust our way in.
I wanted to check the mailbox. Is like the mailbox full?
It's one of the townhouses where there's a mail slot in the door.
Riley's gonna just get a measure of the outside, so that way when she goes in, she can measure it on the inside as well and see if there might be any hidden areas that she might be able to find.
Okay. That definitely sounds like something we should do a check for. I'm just trying to determine what kind of check it should be.
I mean, spot hidden would probably be good for Riley.
It would be.
Yes, I'm a bit confused with this new layout.
Yeah,
oh boy,
this
somebody's growling.
For folks out there in Twitchland as well. Yeah, the other thing too is we're also kind of fighting our character sheet just a little bit because they changed the character sheet on us.
Yeah, where the heck's the investigation skill? Could have sworn I had that.
There really isn't an investigation skill.
Oh, was that?
You're thinking of D&D, hun.
I thought there was one here too.
I think the closest is Spot Hidden.
It would either be Spot Hidden or no. Spot Hidden is actually looking for the secret areas within, if there are any. In this
Okay.
case, I would say it'd actually be a Navigate.
Oh, Navigate? Of course, it's a Navigate skill that I'm shit at.
It's the closest one. Okay, yep.
Where are my luck points on here?
Uh,
Oh, there they are. Never mind, found them.
Yeah.
I cannot push that.
But yeah,
It's close though.
I could have a look if you'd like.
so, but yeah, so you try to get an appreciation for the townhouse, but really it's just, to you it seems like just a normal townhouse from the exterior. Also, you feel particularly exposed.
Sorry, I thought you had to click and then roll. Gosh dang it.
Yeah, no, they changed that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I also, what's the primary gang in this area?
You know that this is definitely Capone territory.
Oh, fun.
Because Capone's really like dealing with the politicians. They grease a lot of palms. So
Okay.
But it's definitely one of those areas where they wouldn't be doing anything in broad daylight out here. There's too many fucking politicians out here that could easily take offense to their nice neighborhood being
Tarnished. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna be looking around for anything like footprints or fingerprints or anything like that.
So, okay, are you guys going into the house to do that, or are you guys staying on the outside?
I would
Ooh,
like to
there's a
go
question.
inside because I feel exposed.
I'm gonna go
Do
inside
I
as well.
hear anything happening while everyone's looking around? Like anybody walking around, anybody in the house at all?
I mean, it is a upscale neighborhood, so I mean, you see like people's help going around trimming like hedges and such. But outside of that, if you want anything else, you need to give me a listen roll.
Yeah. Nope. I don't hear shit.
Yeah, you don't hear anything out of the ordinary. It's just a nice day in DC.
It's a nice day outside with the fishes. Alrighty.
So are you guys going inside, or are you looking on the outside, Crow?
I'm gonna be looking on the outside first.
Spot hidden, and this is going to be at hard difficulty.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if there were tracks, they're obscured because it's been a couple of days. There's already been investigators here ahead of you. And
so I noticed.
wait, I got a ding.
Oh.
A nodding moose.
Nodding moose?
Just
Anonymous.
donated $25 to Extra Life. Thank you.
Hey!
Thank you very much.
Anonymous. The pun.
It hurt so bad.
But yeah, no, other investigators have been here prior, and so just any tracks that were here have been muddied up. It's also on top of that, the help that would probably normally be assigned here probably also operated for at least a day before anyone noticed that the curator wasn't coming back.
Mm-hmm. Okay. In which case then, I feel comfortable in knowing that there is nothing really out here. Do I see any like broken windows?
Not from this side of the building.
Okay. In that case, I'm going in then.
Okay.
Actually, wait. I'm gonna look back to my team. All right. Well, I'm going to go. I'm going to look to. I'm going to look to Hunter or Firebrand. I'm going to say, Firebrand, I want you here with me. I want you to help me investigate the outside area. And I'm going to point to Goldlaw and Fortune. I'm going to point to those who Goldlaw, Fortune. Is there like a way around the back or from the side of the building?
I mean, it's a fenced off townhouse, so there's maybe like a divider fence like halfway up the side of the building that separates the front lawn from the back lawn.
Okay, never mind then. In which case, I'm just going to go in the building then.
Well, wait. I'm being told there was a message. Did
Oh.
that not come through with the... Because apparently there was supposed to be a message with that extra life donation. I will continue looking into this real quick if you guys continue onward.
All right then.
Are we outside then, or are we going inside?
Riley is at the doorsteps and waiting to go inside because she feels exposed.
All right, inside we go, Miss Riley.
Well, I think what we should do is we should have someone on watch whilst we're investigating the house.
Help an investigizzle out. Is what Anonymous actually said.
What did it say?
Thank you for helping out our investigizzle. We appreciate it.
Well, where would you go to
Oh, wait. Did I leave that up?
It's a day.
You know what? You
All
know
right.
what? That's fine. So I
It's
just
fine.
gotta.
Everything's okay.
Fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, does it have the rewards from the extra life pirate thing?
Yeah,
For
from
giving
the-
advantage?
From the,
Oh no.
yeah, from the Tarask thing.
Yeah, you should leave the Tarask one up.
Oh.
Which honestly, the first two really apply until we get to the 100 mark. But okay, that's good to know. But yeah. So, but yeah, thank you. The players will be able to take advantage on a roll in the future.
One per player or one per
One advantage.
one advantage?
One
That is all.
advantage.
One
A
advantage.
single
Or
advantage.
in this case, I would also say that you can either roll with advantage or lower the difficulty of a challenge.
That'd be kind of nice, actually.
So, but yeah, but it's fair to say that I know who Anonymous is. Thank you, Beeble. Appreciate it. And we'll try to put this forward. All right. So who's going in?
Riley is.
Riley is. I know that for sure. There's no stopping her. She's already going in. I'm going to look to Firebrand and Goldor. We need somebody out here to keep watch whilst we're looking inside. Who feels comfortable staying outside and watching, standing guard, so to speak?
It's daytime, right?
Yeah.
I can stay out and watch, I suppose.
All right,
You
because I
sure,
would rather go in, honestly.
You sure, Firebrand?
It's fine.
Okay.
It's not dark. We're good. Nothing to worry
All
about.
right. I trust you, Firebrand. And I'm just going to point to Godlaw. All three of us are going in. If you see anything, you come in. You let us know immediately. Okay?
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah. And that's what. With that.
The second they're gone, I just mutter to myself, that was your first mistake, trusting me. We don't know where this isn't gonna end well.
Peter Baelish, why are you doing this to us?
All right. Well, you three approach the door, and right off the bat, the when you reach out to the lock, the door is very much locked. But
Oh.
Crow,
Mhm.
you know that this is normal procedure. So that all you need to do is hold up your badge to the little symbol above the door to essentially get it to unlock for you.
Oh,
Huh.
cool.
Electromagnetic locks before they were a thing. Technology. Anyway, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna just run in.
Okay.
Wait, if that's the case, I'm gonna turn to fire. I'm gonna turn to firebrand. You don't need to stay outside anymore. The door's locked. Door's locked to all but
Okay.
us.
Make my way up to the door, not cause issues.
Not trip over yourself and accidentally start a fire.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to stab you like that. Total accident.
You fell onto my knife 10 times.
Gravity's a bitch.
Oh yeah, you two clearly know that gravity is a bitch.
Oh yes, we
Mm,
do.
But yeah, your group enters the townhouse, and upon your entry, you're in essentially the front lobby of the estate, in which it's not like a cavernous lobby or anything like that. More like a sitting, like just a small place for people who live here to greet guests and then have get their coats taken and all that stuff.
Sure.
So just kind of one of them fancy house things of money but you notice that right off the bat that the seemingly the theme of the house is ticking things, clocks.
Oh,
Lots of clocks along the walls, and what seems to be various various little clockwork items.
I'm gonna look to Firebrand. Don't touch anything without express permission first. No, stop it.
Hands go in the pockets.
Foyer is a better term. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Titan. But
Within the foyer.
foyer. Yeah. Along the walls are several large clocks, and there's seems to be this motif of gears and mechanical things. Kind of put like the wallpaper's like gear wallpaper. And they're on some of the mantelpieces, you see little what seems to be like little clockwork things and music boxes. You also notice that there's two doors, one going to the left and one going to the right. So it's essentially a T intersection.
Okay, so in effect, there's the T. There is two doors, two directions that we can go. I'm gonna look
Your motel wallpaper.
Your motel wallpaper. Fuck.
I want to count to see if there is a specific number of clocks in this room.
Yeah, there are 4.
4 clocks. Okay.
Are they all set at the same time or different times?
They are different times. There's only one of them there that is correct.
Now, is it different time zones or just completely different times?
I feel like that would be a check of some kind.
I could do a history check to see if I know the time zones.
Yeah. Give me a history check.
Normal level?
Normal level, yeah, because this would be general information. It's just
Woohoo!
one of those things that
Sweet.
you kind of have to think about to see if just maybe the okay the you do as far as you know that yes, it seems like every clock is on a separate time zone. So, you notice that one clock is definitely local time. One clock seems to be London time. Another clock seems to be if it is a time zone, it would be someplace like Cairo. I don't know the name of that time zone off the top of my head. I'm sorry. And then one other clock that seems to be on Pacific time.
Hmm.
My people.
So I go and
Pacific Northwest Pride, yo.
I point at them and I say, London, perhaps Cairo. I basically tell everybody what the different time zones are because I looked for my notes and I don't know where my notes are, so I immediately forgot.
I'm gonna make a note of that. So what did you say the time zones were again?
Local, London, Cairo, Pacific.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
okay. So it was
London.
far off. I was thinking of a 5th clock. Jeez. Sounds like
Cairo
And then
and
Seattle, we could
and Seattle.
put. Yeah, Seattle,
Well-
Pacific.
Honestly, I would think almost Los Angeles.
They're on the same
They're
time zone.
both.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean-
Pacific.
Depends on what's big in
Yeah.
1924.
It also could be related to probably shipments, I would
That too.
assume.
That too.
So I'm going to, since the doors are closed, I want to make it. What would the role be to check to make sure there aren't any traps behind these doors?
It would be a spot hidden. However, I will point out this is a townhouse in which a curator was obviously living.
Was.
And? Yes, and? Why wouldn't there be traps?
If he's not turned up for his shifts at work, then he's either in here or he's not. If he's not in here, somebody might have set something up.
So,
Or he is in here, and there's a pool of blood waiting for us.
So I'm
Sure,
going to.
I'll do a spot hidden check on one door if you do the other.
I will do.
okay.
I will take the left door.
I will take
You
the
they
right.
get advantage because they're looking simultaneously. I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
And this is at regular difficulty, yes?
Yes.
So sweet. I don't notice anything.
Yeah, neither of you spot anything out of the ordinary. They're perfectly mundane doors.
But what if they're not? I say
Well-
this out loud.
Well, I guess starting from the left. What's behind door number 1?
Yeah, I'm just opening the door.
Could
Okay.
I do a psychology check to determine why he would have the clock set at different time zones?
I would say not because you don't know enough about this curator.
All right.
Because
Yeah, let's do some investigating first.
So which door are you opening? One, both?
Left.
Okay, left door. All right, and behind door number 1. What are you giggling about over there?
I'm feeling it has to do
Check,
with
smell hidden corpses. A little niche, but potentially useful in this setting.
Damn it.
Damn it, Guyton.
Aw,
Okay,
man.
you open the left door, and you're immediately greeted by the sight of a very humble living room. Again, very much the clock mechanical motif. There's yet another clock in here. Seems to be local. But it's a very well appointed living area. So, and where there's like a large fireplace with a mantle with several what seems to be little statuettes on it. They seem to be made of gears or brass. And then the fireplace is obviously empty and cold. So, but large sofa, a couple large armchairs, very nice coffee table. So
Cozy
and
place.
so and and there's one additional door in this room, other than the one that you came in.
I'm gonna just to the rest of them and say, well, we're here to find see if the curator's here first. If he's not here, then we'll start doing some proper investigation. But for now, I want to verify that he's not here first. After all, it would be rude to go through somebody's house, even though they're here. Anyway,
we should probably just be like, hello, is anybody here?
and what
Why
if there's somebody
wouldn't
else?
the previous agents have done that?
Well, they could very well have done, but they could very well not have done as well. And also, if there is somebody else in here, we don't want to alert them of our presence.
Too late.
Well, I think we're already did that now.
Too late. I did that. That was in character, guys.
Okay, are you guys going to just check through the entire house for other individuals?
Yes, that's my plan first.
Okay, no. Firebrand came inside with them once they realized that the door would actually lock behind them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because Suppression Bureau fuckery. So a preliminary check of the premises does not reveal any individuals here. So once again, this is a 3-story townhouse. Let me bring up my notes here. So, but in checking the building, so there are quite a few rooms here, but here are the ones of note. So obviously there's the foyer, the living area, the kitchen, dining room, and then what seems to be a game room, a recreation room. On the first floor.
That's just on the first. Jeez.
I'm telling you, this is an estate townhouse. This is really upscale.
Big.
So
Fucking rich people, man.
Yeah.
The second level has a library and what seems to be a study.
Okay.
So just a lot of paperwork and that stuff. There's also several empty what appear to be guest rooms.
Guest rooms.
And you can guess that they're guest rooms because they have no ornamentation whatsoever. They're very bare bones. So
Okay.
So very, very hotel-like. And there's notably 3 guest rooms.
3 guest. Jeez.
Is there a lot of dust on everything, or does it look like it's fairly upkept?
Okay, let me finish digging through the rooms real quick. The third level has the master bedroom. So what seems to be a small room dedicated for like growing plants. So I will refer to it as an arboretum, even though that is probably not how that word's supposed to be used. And then the last room up on that third floor, since it's kind of tapering off at this point, seems to be that's not right. My notes are not correct.
Oh shit.
Oh boy.
Unless that garden is devoted to trees, it's not technically an arboretum, it'd just be a greenhouse.
Okay, yeah, like a little greenhouse. And then another room that seems to be like a little workshop. Don't know why
Okay.
I put that other thing there. That's stupid. Um. So, but yeah. So, but those are all the rooms of interest.
Room of interest. Okay.
So obviously there's like bathrooms and such, various levels, but other than that, these are what you immediately find.
Okay.
I am a
All
planet
right.
snob.
Can I do a spot hidden check to see if I can find any hidden rooms or hidden basements, anything like that?
Okay. What do you want to check for first? Basement or just a room? And where are you checking?
I'm going to start on the first floor and then I'll just make my way up.
Okay. So which room on the first floor are you starting in?
Let's start in the living room.
Okay. Make a spot hidden.
Where did my character sheet disappear to? I should plug in
I
my
ate it.
tablet for a third screen because I could really use it right now.
How do you think I feel?
There you go.
Everything is everywhere. I have no structure.
Yeah, but then it would require me restarting my computer and it just gets a whole mess. It's not worth it right now.
Okay.
I'm happy with just one because it's blown up at 400% already. So
That's fair.
Alright. So you don't spot any hidden areas in the living room. What you do notice that is that like the mantelpiece seems to be fairly dusty. And the air you could describe as maybe a little bit stale. So
So it's definitely been a little while since someone's been here.
yeah.
Well, I'm going
Okay.
to, if I'm alright to talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say, I'm going to post Gold Law in the library and the kind of study area. She knows the
Alright.
most about this kind of thing, so if there are any abnormalities, you would be probably the best person to check that out. And I'm going to post. It's probably a bad decision. I'm going to post Firebrand in the like workshop area. Because again, he's the most well, I want to say the most technologically advanced, but like he's the one who understands gears and like tinkering and things like that. And if there's anything that was out of place, I think that he would be the best to kind of spot that out as well.
Okay. So
And I'm going to be searching, and then I'm going to be searching with Fortune Seeker.
Okay. Well, nothing is found in the living room right off the bat. No hidden areas, just the main thing is that air is kind of stale and there's a layer of dust on the mantle. So let's zoom over. So who wants to go first, Firebrand or Goldlore?
I'll go.
Okay. So you've been asked to check out the library. So how would you go about it?
Can I do a library use check just to see if I find something out of the ordinary, or would that be a spot hidden?
So depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking for to get an idea of what kind of library this individual is keeping, or are you looking for something that might be hidden in the library?
I'd probably start just by checking out what kind of library this is.
Okay, that will be a library use check.
All right. All right.
See you laughing there. see.
I'm reading chat. It's great.
Oh no.
Look at the bones! Brother Maynard, bring up the holy hand grenade.
Recites the Dewey Decimal System.
The thing is, I could probably do that if I wanted to.
But
Evil dust bunnies.
so first thou shalt sort the 300s.
I've worked in 3 different libraries. It's fine. I can do it.
Riley has not, though.
No,
Riley don't
Riley
give
has
a
not.
fuck about the Dewey Decimal System.
No, she doesn't.
Alright, so the
But
light.
Scythe does.
This seems to be a general library as far as you can identify. This seems to be maybe the personal collection of the curator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not sure what I was expecting, but Firebrand, if you'd like to go next, I need to think about what else I should look for.
Okay. All right. It just
It just keeps going.
chat just keeps going.
First thou shalt sort the 300s. Thou shalt not proceed to the 400s. The 500s are right out. Sort thou not the 400s, neither the 200s, unless thou then proceed to the 300s.
So, but anyway, Firebrand, you've been asked to check out the workshop on the 3rd floor. So, how are you going to go about it?
First, is there a way that I can see like what kind of workshop this is for? Is it like specifically for machining? Is it more electrical? Any way to tell a difference there?
So you could definitely tell just looking right at it that it's not an electrical workshop. It's, again, electricity is still relatively new. And yes, this house has electricity, which just shows how fucking rich this neighborhood is. Because there's a lot of places that aren't running on electricity quite yet as a consumer item. But this seems to be more of a tinkerer's workshop. So there are gears and springs and what seems to be like little, like, again, with music boxes and clocks, you can definitely see like a gutted out clock on the workbench.
Okay. Anything standing out aside from just a couple of things kind of gutted? Is there anything out of the ordinary, I suppose, for a Tinkerer's Workshop, or anything outstanding?
Spot hidden.
Okay. Regular difficulty?
Regular difficulty.
Rip.
Oh.
How about a 98 crit fail?
As you get distracted by the clock. Ooh.
I start tinkering with the clock. It explodes. It was truly a bomb.
We're going to come back to you.
Oh no!
I broke it!
Oh
no.
Fuck a doodle do. Anyway,
And this is why you don't leave me alone ever.
Crow and Fortune Seeker, where are you guys going to proceed to next for your checks?
Well, I doubt he would hide anything in the kitchen.
I want to
but
check
because-
the recreation room.
Yeah,
Recreation
Recreation.
room.
Okay. Well, the rec room is not terribly large. It's fairly snug, but the main reason why it's snug is because it's got an entire pool table. It's got an entire snooker table right in the middle.
Okay.
But
Can I do a spot hidden in this room as well? 'Cause
Yes.
Yes. Good.
if you guys are looking for hidden things, it's a spot.
Not good today.
But chat is on fire today. The clock hour hand simply flies right into your
The
eye.
moral of this story, time does fly.
Oh god.
Yes, of course.
But
I don't know, we'll give it a tick or two.
Boo.
Crow, you don't spot anything. Again, it's just air's kind of stale in here. and it's honestly a little bit stuffy in here.
Mhm.
Maybe it's because the curtains are closed or what. But it's kind of stuffy, and you're looking around, but you don't spot anything. Right, so fortune seeker, you snoop around a bit, and you do notice something odd. You notice that the where the pool cue mounts are. So it's like just like a bar where the all the snooker cues are on a rack against the wall, but the you do notice that one of the cues is shorter than the others, like significantly shorter, similar to that of what a child would use. But as you tug on it a little bit, you feel like it's definitely attached to something.
Ooh.
I'm going to gesture for Midnight Crow to come over.
Hmm?
One of these things does not belong.
One of these things is not like the others.
All right. Okay.
And I'm going to point to the small one. This one is attached to something.
Okay. Well, stand back. I'm not sure what this could be linked to.
Okay, do you pull on it?
Yep, I pull on it.
Okay, you pull on it, and we do hear a clack, 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 as, yes, this Stoker cue was a lever. And you're still holding it, preventing it from retracting. But you could definitely felt like it turned something in the wall. And you notice, looking down the back of the snooker cue, you can definitely see what seems to be like a gear, like towards the base of it. There seems to be a gear that was part of this mechanism. You definitely feel like it wants to slide back into position, but it's still in your hand.
Okay, I'm going to gesture to. How much space is there underneath the snooker table?
If you're asking me for me to hide, I'm not going to hide.
I'm not asking for you to hide per se, but if this explodes, I don't want you to be in the line of fire.
If it explodes, I will welcome it.
Well,
God.
that's a mood right there. Anyway, I guess then, in which case, I'm just gonna turn my back to it, kind of shield myself, and let go of the cue as I just duck.
And the cue returns back to its position, and we hear a little bit more clack, 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 and then ticking in the walls. As that ticking goes off, music starts playing in the room. It's a not very good music. Sounds very Western-ish, kind of like the shit you would
Country
hear.
roads take me home to the place I belong.
Not for another 40 years.
Virginia, Mama.
But yeah, no, but yeah, you're greeted with the sound of what sounds like almost like a player piano if the player piano wasn't a piano and instead was like more of a music box.
Is there a music box in this room?
There are a couple in here.
I'm gonna go check those.
Yeah.
Some of them are playing.
Some of them are playing.
Okay, so are they attached to anything? Like
What's
other
the-
like
Is the one that sounds the most similar to the sound that's going on right now?
Yeah, they all sound like what the sound you're hearing.
Okay.
Can I pick them up?
You attempt to pick it up, it does not budge. It is
Ooh,
affixed to the wall.
affixed to the wall. Okay.
Can they move anywhere, like along the walls?
Nope, they are stuck there on their mantelpieces.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, we are going to go over, while you guys ponder that, So yeah, here the library is a general library. It seems to be a personal collection. There's various books in pretty much a little bit of everything. There's definitely a lot of books focused on different places.
Right.
It's very similar to your own home library, if you come to think of it.
Indeed. Quite similar. It's also like a study, right? A private study?
Nope, study's the next room over.
No. Mm. All right. I am going to see if I can find anything out of the ordinary in the library.
Okay, spot hidden.
Regular level?
Regular level.
Oh, hey, sweet.
Looking around, you do notice that there seems to be a couple books in the library that are far older than the rest. And these books seem to... They're all bound in leather, so they're like ye olde leather bound tomes. So, but they seem to be some kind of illuminated script. It's written in Latin. But the main thing that jumps out at you is just that these are significantly older than the rest of the collection, and they are and they don't seem to be like general reading material. They, if anything, if you could understand Latin, you would think that maybe these are some form of reference material. But
Right.
why someone would have reference material in Latin, of all things, is a bit of a head scratcher.
Definitely weird. I'm going to stuff them into my Mary Poppins bag, as Thompson put it. And, well, I'm not sure what else I could find here. And Crow posted me at the library, so I don't want to leave either. Unless I could go investigate the study a bit.
Yeah, you can feel
I'm
free
gonna
to do it.
stay here. All right. Yeah, so I go into the study.
Yeah, the study itself is very, very much this house. There's clocks on the wall. Again, these are all clocks that are in different time zones, except this time we're looking at clocks from like 7 more time zones.
Dang.
And you notice that they're from major cities, all like they correspond to major cities like Moscow or Dubai or Cape, like not Cape Cod, jeez,
Cape Town, Africa, maybe?
yeah, Cape Town, and then so Beijing, just places from all over the world. So
Sure.
there does seem to be like a little mechanical dippy bird on the desk. And it's a big like mahogany desk. So and
I thought you meant the bird was big for a minute there. A really big dippy bird.
so but yeah, you notice right off the bat, it does look like someone's been in here recently. As there seems to be some stuff moved about, like papers where would otherwise be organized seem to be like cast aside a little bit. So, but we will come back to you
right.
momentarily. Hunter, Mr. Firebrand,
What?
you start poking around the workshop, and you were trying to kind of determine, like, is there anything out of the ordinary? When suddenly you hear the clacking of gears in the wall. And then the door behind... So you walked into this workshop. Now the door behind you has shut. And you do... So, and you do hear music. But you also hear an underlying tick-tock noise. And it's really prevalent in this room. So, and in your surprise, you do lean over and you stick your hand out, and your hand comes right down on top of like an upturned screw. And you're going to take a point of damage.
It's in my hand.
It's in your hand.
In my hand. Who the fuck leaves screws lying point up?
I mean,
That takes concerted effort. Why would you? Why?
I mean, it just sounds like screw you to that point, and to you at that point.
Apparently. Like, fuck me, I guess.
I wouldn't suggest it, but okay.
Did we ever get back up to full hit points? Or no?
I mean,
Yeah.
Riley and Crow are, but...
Okay, 'cause I never did. I'm still a bit roughed up. I just wanted to clarify there. So-
Same,
Oh,
actually.
Did you
no.
Well, I mean, you two
Well-
haven't taken any time to rest.
Exactly. That's what I'm clarifying. We didn't rest or anything, right?
Yes, but you still need to... Both you and Zoe roll me first aid.
Oh. Oh no.
Because health regen in this system does have a process.
Hey.
Hey.
Hunter, you recover... You recover 2 HP.
Okay, cool. I'm up to 12.
Yep. Zoe, you don't recover any HP.
Nah, I wasn't bad to begin with, but I just thought.
Critical failure. You lose a hit point trying to heal yourself.
Boo.
Stab
You
yourself
somehow
with the
managed to
scalpel.
make the infection worse and need to be hospitalized for 3 months.
So, but yeah, so you hear ticking coming from this room, and you realize that the ticking. So you realize that the ticking is abnormally loud in this room. If you want to determine anything else, I need a spot hidden, listen, or some other examination of your surroundings.
Mechanical prepare probably wouldn't work, right?
Just wanted to sub it.
Not really, because you can't see the mechanism yet.
I just thought I would ask, just in case. Well, my listen is better than my spot hidden, so we're gonna go with the listen. Nope.
Mm.
By the way, where the hell did you find luck on this sheet?
Its luck is right next to power.
At the
Right
top.
above magic hit points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't... Oh, there we are. Okay. Tell you what, I'm gonna use 16 points to make that a success.
Jeez.
Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. That's not good. That doesn't bode well.
You don't burn any luck points.
Okay.
Everything dies.
Okay,
The
so
whole
let me
building
ask,
blows up.
because this is going to be helpful GM interjecting. Remember that luck is a finite resource. It is very rare to get a form of luck recovery.
Yeah,
So
I know.
would you rather push your roll instead?
Ooh,
I would
point.
push it instead of spending luck points, honestly.
Because that is a very high amount of luck that to be spent.
But Yeah, that is a very high amount of luck.
Good point.
Uh,
Yeah, we'll just push it.
yeah.
But you also only have a 30% chance of succeeding.
This
the
is
other
true.
half.
And if I don't succeed, then I have another screw in my other hand, and then we become a really bad joke about
Hunter
Christianity.
screw hands.
Hunter screw hands. Totally different depending on the context.
And if you do have to if you do re-roll and you get a critical failure, there's no telling what could happen next.
Yeah.
And this is and pushing your roll is double or nothing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be double bad.
That's the whole reason why you guys had a truck dropped on you.
Yeah. Fuck it. Let's push it. How do I push with this now?
Good luck, mate.
Oh yeah, it used to be at the bottom. Now it's
No, it's
I
not.
think you just have to roll it again.
Roll it again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I would just like to
I
point
tried
out.
to warn you.
I would just like to point out, though, that this is my third critical fail I have rolled in less than an hour.
In less
I don't
than
think
10
roll-
minutes.
I don't
Yeah.
think Roll20 likes you
No.
specifically.
The dice
No,
gods
it
are not
doesn't.
in your favor.
I was rolling some dice earlier, and it also was going poorly. So. I'm dead. That's what's happening. I'm dead. Bye, guys. Nice meeting you. Good one. The house is up in flames. Everything's fucked.
Time to prepare
Sure.
another character sheet.
Let me get started on that real quick.
Hunter, we will come back to you.
Oh no.
Just kill the man. Just do it quick.
But, so, Beeble says, I see rolling hasn't gotten better since last week. Yeah.
Nope. Not at all. It's Roll20, I'm telling you.
Roll20 does have a tendency to roll failures,
Yeah.
for the record, so
3 in an hour.
But
What
yeah.
is the statistical likelihood of that?
it's not high at all.
Like 2% max?
But also, like, Roll20 is designed to not roll that well, so
Anyway.
This is Call of Cthulhu. You're meant to die.
Ah, but I like Hunter.
Crow and Fortune Seeker.
mm-hmm.
So hold on, I'm reading chat. Well, I don't know why this stream is hiccuping for you, Chitin. I mean,
Yeah, I think
if
it's just
anything,
his PC.
I tuned it to be coding specifically for lower end, but I'll look at stuff before next stream. But anyway, but yeah, Fortune Seeker and Crow, you're in a rec room, and sounds like these music boxes on the wall are all giving off the same song, giving music throughout the room.
I'm almost having a bad flashback right now, but pushing that away.
Well,
I'm sorry.
and well. So,
I want to push down on the pool table, see if it moves.
I want to push on these music boxes, see if they shift.
Neither shift.
Nope.
Pool table, the snooker table is a snooker table, as far as you can tell. Like, if you push on it, it moves because it's on, like, little legs.
Mhm.
And you can budge it on the carpet, but other than that, it seems like a snooker table, but the music boxes are affixed to the walls.
Okay. What about these music boxes? Do they look different in, like, variation? Or are they the same music box over and over and over again?
They're alternating, so there's notably 6 music boxes in this room. So so essentially 3 along either side of the room.
Mhm.
And it seems to be an alternating pattern of cowboys and Indians. So
Cowboys and Indians.
cowboy, Indian, cowboy, on either side.
Okay. That can usually be associated with Western American, couldn't it?
Let's all hit the cowboy ones at the same time. And then hit the Indians one.
Wait, these music boxes, are they the kind that you open or?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Okay.
So, Cowboys and Indians. You said this is like a Western theme. This is Cowboys and Indians. Really strange that it's got such a theme. I'm thinking, are there any more clocks in this room?
There are 2.
Okay.
What are the time zones of the 2?
One seems to be, one is local, one seems to be Pacific.
I'm gonna go up to the Pacific clock.
Mm-hmm. Are there any? I want to check to see if there are any buttons on this clock.
Or any
Anything.
mechanisms, really.
Yeah, any mechanisms, anything that protrudes or stands out.
It looks like just a normal clock to you. A gilded one, but a clock nonetheless.
Can I try taking it off the wall?
So it seems affixed to the wall.
Everything seems affixed here. What about the local time clock? Is that affixed to the wall?
Local time clock is also affixed to the wall.
Everything is affixed to the wall. Okay.
I'm
Are the
gonna...
cubes? Is the pool table affixed to the floor?
No,
No,
the-
the pool table was not. Can I try changing the local time clock to the Pacific time?
Yeah. You can open up the facing and you change it. You definitely feel some resistance as you change the time, but it's not like mechanical. It is mechanical resistance, but it's what you would expect out of changing a geared clock by moving the hands instead of some other mechanism.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go back into the living room and see if anything's changed in the living room.
Say again?
I want to go back into the living room and see if anything's changed in the living room.
Okay, you poke your head in. Yeah, that same music is in this room too.
Okay, I'm gonna go into the foyer then.
It's also in the foyer.
Okay, this house has like a musical going on, and I don't like it.
All right.
I'm gonna pull the lever again.
Okay. Yep. You feel resistance as you pull it, and do you let it go?
Yeah.
All right, and it goes back to place, and the music continues onward.
Ugh.
What does the time on the Pacific clock say?
Let's say let's say local time is noon, just to make math easier on my brain, because but so which means that the Pacific clock is at 10.
It would be 9.
Yeah.
9.
Yeah, because
Is
DC
DC
Eastern.
on Eastern? Okay.
yeah,
I thought DC was
Central.
Yeah, that's Central.
Yeah, no, it's Eastern.
Okay, I want to try one changing. So it's on 9 o'clock currently. And I've got nothing.
We will come back to you two. Zoe.
I am going to search for any correspondence that might have been missed. Like interesting letters or just any kind of interesting mail.
Okay.
Maybe corresponding to the shipment from Cairo or anything like that?
All right. So roll me a library use.
All right. There it is. Oh, I found nothing. Oh, geez, that was.
But
That could have been
you
bad.
you pick through
Welcome to my life.
you pick through the documentation. They do seem to be transcripts of shipments that have arrived at the Smithsonian. They seem very mundane. Well, as mundane as can be for the Suppression Bureau, where certain artifacts of interest were received and then were either cataloged to go to display and restoration or go to the Bureau vault.
Can we assume that the agents across the street have already looked here?
That seems to be logical to your mind. So you can also tell, like, there was on the dust. There was some other objects on the table at some point on the desk that have been removed, and it's easy to assume that maybe there was some stuff left behind, and then the agents may have secured it in order to prevent. So, just
Right.
because you don't leave artifacts in an empty house, that seems like a bad idea.
Right, because it's not like the room is in shambles. It's still neat. It's just been picked through.
It looks like the popo came in, grabbed what they needed to lock down, and then they left for you
Yeah.
guys to pick through what you guys need.
Well, in that case, I'm going to go back to the library and like start pulling books, checking for secret passages.
Okay, spot hidden.
This might not be good, but this might be really great. No.
You don't find anything. Again, you pull books down, and it seems like a very mundane library. And the only thing accompanying you is just the tick-tock of the clock on the wall.
Yeah, and I don't hear the music yet either, do I?
Nope.
Darn, I have no idea what to do next.
So, okay, we'll come back to you.
All right.
Question.
Yes.
Considering it is now 8:27, would this be a good time to take a break?
Before we deliberate on your fate.
Exactly. Because I get the feeling I'm gonna need something a little bit stronger than a cream soda after this.
Well, before we go on break, let's talk about what happens to you, and then we'll
boy.
use the next
Oh, no.
cycle to come back to.
Oh no. Okay.
But
Just rip the band-aid off.
you're listening, trying to figure out where the ticking is coming from, and you suddenly hear clack, and again, since you're a machinist, you understand that you're hearing a tensioner spring getting wound. So, and the ticking just is incessant. You try the door doesn't freaking open. You don't know why the door won't effing open. It's really obnoxious. And the ticking just starts wearing on you a bit. More than a bit. It's rather odd because you like ticking. You like making things tick.
Ladies. I'm sorry. That was gross. I'm so sorry. I don't mean that.
Sanity check.
Oh shit.
Oh boy.
Alright, please game. Please don't do me dirty like that. Hard success!
Woo!
We good! Maybe. Probably not.
Okay. Give me either a spot hidden or a listen at regular difficulty.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Would you like to use your advantage? The one advantage in your pool.
Yes. Yes, I would. My God. Unless the rest of the party has issues with that.
No.
I don't.
Please do.
I'd rather you live.
Okay. Okay. I can live with that. Literally, probably.
You thought you were going to lose your mind for a second because all you could hear is tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, but you bring your focus in, and then you realize the noise is coming from below you,
Oh.
and and with a little bit of gumption, you do start noticing that there is, like in the corner of the room, there seems to be a door that goes under the floor.
I open the door gingerly.
You look in, and it's dark down there, but you can definitely hear the ticking. This is definitely going to where the ticking is. The annoying ticking.
I close the door. Is there like a lantern or a flashlight or anything? I don't know if flashlights exist in
No
1940s.
flashlights yet.
Any lantern? Anything in this room?
So, I mean, so this room is
There
illuminated
is electricity.
this room is illuminated by electricity. You do notice, however, in the corner that there is a lantern, an old kerosene lantern.
I'm gonna grab the lantern. I'm gonna turn it on.
Yep, it does have enough kerosene to spark on.
Cool. I'm gonna open the door again. And shine the lantern in there.
You see the whirling of many gears.
Oh my
You
God.
see an elaborate contraption that seems to be turning so just like the best thing you can surmise, and again, this is actually, hold on, roll me a machine check real quick. Machining check.
Machining, okay. Where is that on my list?
Machining or whatever the fuck it
It'd be
is.
mechanical repair, I think.
Yeah, mechanical repair.
Okay. What? 69.
Nice.
Nice.
Woo.
Would you like to push your roll?
My brain says yes, but my heart says no.
The mind's telling me
mean-
no.
It's a 50-50 shot, literally.
Uh-huh.
50-50. You could just flip the coin and get tails instead of heads.
Yeah, or I get another crit fail.
I mean, you've already crit failed.
3 times. 3 fucking times. In an hour.
I'm praying to you. If you push your roll, please.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I had to continue. I'm sorry. Oh, God. Fuck.
Tick tock. Tick tock. Tick tock. Tick tock. Tick tock.
TK's done with TK's done.
Do you push
I'm not
your-
gonna push it, but I am gonna use luck. I know that it's not refundable, but I'm using luck anyway. I didn't want to do that. I keep doing that instead of editing it.
Okay. You use 19 points of luck. And you recognize what this little underroom seems to be. It's a gearbox. Like, this is where tension is translated into multiple gears that seems to be going off, seems to be turning other gears that go off into portions of the wall. This is also not a small room either. This is like a room that you climb down a ladder into, and you can stand easily.
Spatial anomaly.
You also notice that there seems to be a couple gears not turning, like it's not been dropped into gear.
Something else is a car.
Non-Euclidean space.
It's a house moving castle.
God, it is.
Thinking, honestly.
But with that, we're going to go on break for 10 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Operation Cathedral, Call of Cthulhu campaign. We will be back in 10 minutes. In the meantime, consider checking out down below for the donation link. Big thank you to Barcarius for the donation, or AKA Mr. Anonymous.
Anonymous.
So
Also, drink fucking water. Wash your goddamn hands.
Okay.
Drink it.
But yeah, we will be back in about 10 minutes, and we will resume our descent into madness with Operation Cathedral. But don't go too far, folks. And we have returned, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Operation Cathedral, a Call of Cthulhu's campaign. So, we're back for the second half of the show here. So, and, well, Hunter found a gear room. But we'll come back to that.
Scary to
Bye.
Crow and Fortune Seeker, what are you guys
Hi.
doing?
Well, enough. I mean, the only thing that I can really think of is it's got to either do because there's a lot of Western themes. Is there any like other Western themed rooms apart from the rec room?
You notice that all the music boxes that are all affixed to the walls still have that cowboy and Indian theme. Other than that, there's nothing else that really screams Western to you.
Are the other pool cues able to be moved?
Yeah, all the other pool cues just pop off the wall to be used on the snooker table.
Oh, I've got it. I'm gonna dash up to the library.
Okay. And you get up to the library and you find Zoe with all the books off the shelf.
All of them, or just some of them?
All of them.
All of them? Oh no.
It's reshelving day, guys.
Well,
No, actually, what I would have done is I like pulled it out, so it was at an angle, and then I pushed it back in. Like hearing no mechanical anything, I just slide it out, push it in, slide out, push it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after she's finished with that, I'm gonna say, "Good Lord, I don't suppose you noticed any books about Western culture, Western and cowboys and Indians culture, if you will."
No, but I found these books written in Latin. And I'll take them out of my bag. They appear to be reference material, but I don't read Latin, so I couldn't tell you more than that.
All right. Yes, definitely keep those for now. And so,
seems like our friends have already cleaned out the study. I tried finding some correspondence about the Red Scepter, but I could find nothing.
okay. Well, I wonder if you can make heads or tails of this. Are you done up here at all?
Yeah. I believe I am.
All right. All right, then, if you'd like to follow me.
Sure.
I'm going to lead her downstairs to where the music boxes are playing.
All right.
We've pulled out a cue in the wall that seemed to be attached to something. Now all these music boxes are playing, and I'm not sure what to make of it.
Could you push the cue back in?
I think we tried that, haven't we? We put it off the wall, and it's attached to something, and it retracts back into the wall.
Neither of the music boxes move. They're all attached to the wall. And you can't get them to stop playing. This is weird.
It's very weird.
Really
Very, very bizarre. Oh, there's guest rooms.
Yeah, there are. I wonder if the music pulling the pool cue started something.
Okay, I'm gonna just take one of the guest rooms. You two take the other two.
Riley is still in the rec room, but she's gonna go out to the mantle of the fireplace to see what the statuettes actually are, because that was not mentioned.
The statuettes seem to be seem to be wire form of a man and a woman and what seems to be a child. So and by what I mean by wire form is just The statuettes are made by like individually shaping into a wire, starting from one point, going up, and you're shaping it as you go, and then ending back down into the base of the statuette.
Mhm.
But it seems to be of a man, a woman, and a child.
Do the statuettes move?
Nope, they're
Like,
not moving.
are they attached to the mantle?
You can pick them up.
Okay. Is the fireplace an actual fireplace, or is it just a faux fireplace?
It's an actual fireplace. Remember
That
that,
sounds-
but that's not unusual for this time period. Remember, electricity is just now becoming a consumer good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no, I was just thinking, could it be like a hiding place or
A
something?
trap door under the fireplace, maybe.
Or I was actually thinking up.
Into the chimney.
Spot
Yeah.
hidden.
I was getting Sleeping Beauty vibes personally.
I'm thinking of Candleshoe, is what I'm thinking of.
Fair. I was thinking like, you know, the whole Sleeping Beauty thing where the green fire and then you go through the back of it and it leads up to a tower and then you prick your finger on a spinning wheel and you die.
Oh.
Seems
I
that
like
Fortune
my
Seeker has
roll.
got some good fortune this time.
So
That's where all my good rolls win. All of them.
Okay. Yes.
So you look up the chimney, because you can definitely tell that there's not like a false bottom to the chimney, to the fireplace. The fireplace is a fireplace. You look up the chimney, and you do so, and you feel around. You've worked in the speakeasy business long enough to know that sometimes some people will hide stuff behind a loose brick in their chimneys, kind of thing. Just a little hidey hut. You do find one of these little hidey spots in there, and you pull the brick out, and we'll come back to you.
Okay.
Ooh.
Hunter, Senor Firebrand.
Before we continue, I just want to say the thing that Miss Thompson finds is another music box. That's all.
I
That's all
hope
have
not.
To say. Anyway, please continue.
So, but yeah, so you were in the gearbox. This weird house-sized gearbox. And you do notice that some of the gears are not turning because they have not been dropped into gear.
How big is the room?
It's about the size of an average bedroom.
Okay. Oh fuck, gotta learn manual. The gears that haven't been dropped in, are they anywhere like specific on the house, or are they all kind of just in a row?
They seem to just be in a row.
I push on one slightly to see if it moves.
It's
To clarify, one that is not currently already moving. I don't want to lose my hands.
It doesn't budge right off.
Okay. I'm gonna just stomp my foot on the floor just to see if anybody can hear me and just kind of be like, "Oi!"
You stomp on the floor and yeah, feels like a floor.
It was less to see if it's like feels like anything and more so that anybody else could hear me. Do I get a response from any of my teammates? You fall through it. Great.
Listen rolls from the other three, and specifically, but Fortune Seeker will be at extreme difficulty, and for Zoe and Crow, it will be at hard difficulty.
You said listen, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And nothing.
Darn this character sheet. There we go. Ooh.
I've been heard.
So Fortune Seeker does not hear it all the way down on the first floor. So the second floor, Midnight Crow is busy looking through one of the guest rooms, is too busy checking under the bed and he's already focused. Zoe, however, in her look about another guest room, you barely hear. You hear this, like, what seems to be some stomping, maybe? It's kind of hard to tell. And then what sounds like a very muffled voice coming from above you.
Huh. The hell? Do I find anything in the guest room?
You didn't, well, if you're looking through the guest room, again, these are very plain guest rooms. They're giving off very serious, like, hotel vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you want to look for anything else specific, idea spot hidden.
I will just see what I can see. What the heck?
Yeah, you don't notice anything out of the ordinary in this guest room. Again, the main
I see.
the main weirdness was that you heard the muffled voice above you.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to be like making noise and being like, "Oi, can somebody come up here?"
I'm going to go to the other guest room and tell Midnight Crow I heard something above me. I'm going to go check it out.
Above us.
Mm-hmm.
That's where fireground.
Oh, So
I
you
was
and
waiting for it. I was like,
I'm
that's where,
imagining-
oh shit.
I'm imagining you and I both come to the realization first and at the same time. And we're like, oh shit, just at the same time.
In the meantime, Hunter. So you pushing on that gear didn't do much. You made some noise. What else are you doing?
I'm gonna come out of the gearbox and be like, okay, I don't think nobody heard my fucking bitch ass yelling. So I'm gonna try the door again. Is it still locked?
Still locked.
I'm gonna kick the door just gently, not enough to like hurt, but just to make noise. To be like, oi, please help.
So, all right.
This was the door to the
Workshop.
workshop, so we would have heard that one.
Yeah, as you two are coming up the stairs, you definitely hear kicking against the door.
I'm stuck in here, guys. Come on.
So, in the meantime, Fortune Seeker,
Yo.
you pull the brick out, and then you reach into the hidey hole, and you pull out what seems to be a stack of letters.
Ah, that's where the correspondence for Cairo mission was.
So there's not many, but it's definitely, you can definitely tell that these letters have been in that little cubby for some time, from just the way how much like soot, and you can see a little bit of browning where the fireplace may have gotten too hot to be keeping paper goods in that hidey hole, like a couple points, but
Okay.
Curator is not a very smart man.
I'm gonna take those letters and pocket them for the time being, and then I'm gonna replace the brick, put it back where it was.
okay.
Let's see what else was on the first floor. So there's the foyer. I'm actually going. Let's see. I'm gonna check out the dining room and check to see if there's anything out of place there, because that hasn't been checked yet.
Okay. the kitchen, or not the kitchen, the dining room.
Mhm.
The dining room is pretty decent sized. With a long oak table that could probably seat about 8 or 9 people. So, and again, the music is present in here, from music boxes set in the wall. So there are 6 more of them fucking music boxes, and again, they are cowboy, Indian cowboy. So, and
What does it mean?
Mm.
the so, but yeah, it's
Rainbow.
seems like the middle of the table has a tea set out, like so a little bit of a display slash practical display. Um, you could probably guess, this is what he would use for, making tea during a break period or taking tea time or whatever.
How much dust is on the tea set?
A decent amount. So,
Okay. Can I do a spot hidden on this one to see if there's anything out of place in here?
you may.
Okay. Let's change it to regular difficulty, though. Thank you.
Definitely regular roll, regular roll.
Fuck. I'm gonna push it.
Okay.
Seriously? Seriously?
It's 2 off. It's only 2 luck points.
You can't use
But-
luck on a push
You
roll.
can't use luck on push.
Fuck.
Sucks.
Hey, at least you
Seriously.
didn't pull a TK.
Yeah, is that what we're calling it now?
Uh-huh, chat said so.
Okay.
But you search high and low in the dining room, and you don't see anything. So the chairs all move. It's like you're like going through like detective novel stuff, seeing if any of the chairs are locked into place, and you throw a chair to open a secret passageway, or even, and it doesn't seem like there's anything here.
I feel like I'm missing something. Okay.
In the meantime, we will jump to the other 3.
Okay, so this door is locked. That much is sure.
Yep.
And Firebrand is trapped by himself on the other side of this door in a tinkering-
workshop.
In a workshop.
Yep.
Only good things can come from this, given more time.
I want to try ramming this door to open it.
Okay, explain how you're ramming this door? Are you like shoulder checking it, or are you trying to kick it in, or are you grabbing something?
I'm going to start by kicking it.
Alright, then give me either a strength or a brawl.
Do I know that he's doing this?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Before I do that, I'm going to say, stand back, Firebrand! I'm going to try and break you out of there.
I take a couple paces back. I'm like 7 feet away from the door, so.
Okay, yep, so strength or brawl. And this is going to be at extreme difficulty.
Extreme difficulty, ooh. No, I don't do it.
Nope. You kick it, and the door doesn't even so much as shudder.
Okay, then I want to try ramming. I want to try shoulder checking this door.
Wait 1 second. I wonder if this has something to do with the machinery we've been hearing. The music boxes and whatnot. This seems like a puzzle or some kind of, not really a trap, but something strange is going on here, and I want to sleight of hand so I can try and see if I can like pick the lock or something like that.
That's a locksmith.
Oh
not a
man!
sleight of hand. Picking
Or if I
locks
could,
is a
like-
locksmith skill.
If I could like break the thing holding it closed.
Can I come closer to the door now, or am I still in danger of getting rammed?
Still in danger. Give me one moment.
Okay.
So I will say that you can try sleight of hand at extreme difficulty to see if you can jimmy the door. Essentially,
You mean locksmith?
the locksmith is to pick the lock, but essentially trying to like slim jim the door.
Locks.
Like these the 20s equivalent of trying to credit card the door open.
Yeah, the thing is that there is no sleight of hand check.
There is a sleight of hand check.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, there is.
I am blind. I can't read.
It's right
guys.
above. It's right
Right.
above spot hidden. Because I am
Underneath
trained.
read.
Your rogue
can't
is trained in it.
I am not. I can't read, guys. Reading's hard. Man.
I'm not there, so I can't say anything.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you.
So,
My locksmith is 1. My mechanical repair is 10, and my site. Those were my thoughts.
Like I said, locksmith at normal difficulty or sleight of hand at extreme difficulty.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a step back and say, think I'm not sure brute force is the way to go, but it might be our best shot.
All right. Stand back. I'm gonna try locksmith the door.
Okay. Okay.
That's at regular.
Yep, at regular.
What is wrong with me today?
Damn.
Would you like to push your roll?
Welcome to my life.
If I critical fail, that door is staying locked. But
Forever, probably. You
Yeah.
fucked the lock so bad it cannot be unlocked ever again. We'd have to get an actual locksmith in here.
we would have to get an actual locksmith, and probably even they wouldn't be able to open the door properly.
Alternatively, we can just take the door off the hinges.
Yeah,
that
because the hinges are on your side, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Ah, that's a good shout, actually. All right,
Yes,
I'm gonna
it
try.
is.
I'm gonna try. Okay, in which case then, gonna push my roll.
Okay. Show me your moves.
So, no.
Mm. You pull out a set of picks. You start fiddling with it, and after some time, you think you just have it. You start turning it just a little bit, and then suddenly, kersnap! As there's some form of mechanism within the lock that just breaks your pick in half.
Oh, wow.
No.
Okay, I retract my statement earlier. This man is very smart. Okay, then, one final time. Stand back one more time. I'm going to actually,
I haven't ever gotten closer.
I'm actually going to ram the door with my shoulder. I'm actually going to try and brute force it.
I'm gonna take another step back when he says to step back again.
Strength
just to be
or
safe.
brawl at and either would be at hard difficulty.
Hard? Gotcha. What is it? Okay?
Would you like to push your roll?
Yes, I would.
Everything is awful. Nobody can roll word shit.
But
Riley's shoulder suddenly hurts.
yep.
Oh my god.
So you,
Uh,
Riley, you sense a overwhelming sense of annoyance, and then your shoulder starts hurting as Crow charges headlong like full-on cavalier, and he trucks along the hallway. Like, I imagine he went to the end of the hallway here to get a good running start. And he bounces off the door.
Wow.
Oh, ow.
Solid oak. That's a good door.
That's a good door.
So,
That's a good door right there.
So, Crow and Fortune Seeker, you will take a point of damage off your ginormous health pool. So instead of being 25, it should be 24 on both of your sheets.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Mm.
What can I say except you're welcome?
I feel like at that point, Riley's gonna head upstairs now to see what the fuck is happening. For the record.
Can I look around the workshop for a screwdriver that matches the hinges?
Oh yeah, Zoe's after. hurts
You look
himself,
around.
I'm going to yell.
There's lots of tools around, but the thing I'll point out, the hinges won't come out with a screwdriver.
The screws that attach the hinge to the wall? Is that not how this works?
It's set like a regular door, dear, where it's in the
The
frame.
door.
Yeah,
The
and
hinges
there's-
are sticking. The hinges stick out towards you, but if the door is closed and the hinges stick out towards you, the face plates are closed.
It's not that the hinges are attached
No,
to the
not-
wall, and not that the hinges are attached to the wall and the door. It's the hinges are like between the door frame and the door.
There's
Honey,
Now that
do
I'm
me a favor.
there-
No, I know what you're. I know, I get that. That's not why I did the thing. I did the thing because fuck people who make doors. Damn you, good door mechanics.
Okay, and now that I'm kind of try to remove the damn pin from the hinges. You can remove it. Yes.
Can I do that?
You can look around to see if you can find the tools. There, you've definitely find a small hammer, but now the trick is to find something that won't smash or snap as you're trying to extract pins.
Is there a flathead screwdriver?
Flatheads are going to be too thick.
How?
From the bottom. Push it up. From the bottom.
I think you underestimate how small hinge pins are, dear.
I don't.
You
know.
do find one screwdriver that might work, but it's like a clockmaker's screwdriver.
Ah, so it's terrible for this. Okay. Is there any? I'm gonna pull the screw out of my hand. Does that look like it'll fit?
It looks like it could fit.
Okay. We're gonna try it.
Okay. For this would probably be a either a sleight of hand, a mechanical repair, or a dexterity.
Mechanical repair has failed me already, so I'm not trusting that. Dexterity has the same likelihood of failure, so we'll try that instead.
No! I can't roll shit!
Oh, but you pushed your roll.
I did, and I didn't mean to.
We'll take it.
Okay, cool.
Yep. You'll pop the pin. You it takes a little finagling. Mainly you have a moment where you smash your finger with the hammer trying to hold this tiny screw to the pin,
Son of a biscuit.
and then once you get the head up enough, then you start tapping on the head and you pull out all 3 pins. The door stays in place.
We can at least push.
And I push it a little bit.
Door doesn't move anywhere.
What kind of door is this? What is this bullshit door?
I'm going to. Okay, fine. Okay then. I'm going to point to Fortune Seeker. You're in with me on this one. We're going to try and ram the door again.
So you want us to feel double the damage?
Yes, I do. Because we have
I'm
more.
going to end up with a fucking bruise on my shoulder for you ramming the damn door.
And if we're going to do it anyway, he's dead. It's okay. Would you prefer this? A bruised shoulder or another body?
I would prefer to look at all of our options first.
I've looked at our options.
By the
There is
way,
a-
guys, there's like a huge gearbox in this bitch.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick.
Please, for the love of God, I'm gonna
Tick-tock.
destroy something.
Listen here. Would you prefer a
Sanity
two-roof
check,
shoulders?
Hunter.
Oh, fuck.
We have no time.
Nope.
Oh no.
I have succeeded exactly one roll tonight, guys. One.
Hunter, you're starting to get a little twitchy. You again, this is starting to trigger your claustrophobia a little bit. It's a bigger room than what you were in during at the bureau, but you don't like being stuck.
Is there a window in this room?
No, there is not.
I've tried to lock
Can I
the door.
knock on the wall?
You can knock on the wall. Are you looking for something?
Does it sound hollow?
It sounds about as hollow as an ye olde house, because they didn't put insulation. They didn't put a lot of insulation in walls back then.
How big is this hammer I have?
It's like essentially a jeweler's hammer.
Is there a bigger hammer?
Spot hidden.
Who hides the hammer?
And this is going to be at disadvantage because you're getting twitchy. Well, either way.
Are you really gonna make me roll it again?
Do you want to push your roll?
No, you said it was at disadvantage.
Yep.
I have a feeling
Ouch.
It's
Nope,
not
there's-
an extreme fail. It's not a critical fail.
All the tools in here are like jeweler or clockmaker tools.
Okay.
So bitty things.
what I'm going to say to you is I've tried lockpicking that door. There is something in that door that will stop you from lockpicking that door. If you fail, we've got no more locksmith's tools.
Well, then let me at least give it a try.
All right then, be my guest.
So I'm gonna try lockpicking the door now.
Hmm.
I'm guessing it's at hard difficulty because he broke his fucking lock.
Yep.
So I'm gonna do sleight of hand, if that's possible, because it's higher. Or no, wait. If I do spot hidden, it would be extreme difficulty, wouldn't it?
So if it's sleight of hand, it's extreme difficulty because sleight of hand would be trying to slim jim the door.
Okay.
So,
no,
but
I'm gonna locksmith then instead.
Yep,
I'm
so-
fine with that.
That'll be a hard difficulty.
Damn it.
We've been getting nothing but bad rolls tonight.
Hmm.
I'm going to look. I'm going to,
Would you like to push your roll? Fuck your hammers.
Yeah, I'm gonna push it. Fuck it. Why not?
Much like Crow, you get going along. It took you a little bit to get the broken lockpick out of the lock, but you do so, and then you start turning. Oh, you did that at hard difficulty, friend.
Oh, it should have been regular.
Should have been
difficulty?
regular. So
Oh,
I thought
okay,
you said
Yeah.
it was. I thought you said it was hard.
Oh yeah, I'm tired.
Are you okay?
I
Do you
mean,
need a hug?
I'll re-roll it on regular difficulty.
give
I won't say
hugs.
no.
If you need hugs, I can give.
Yeah. So I'm fine. So yeah.
Okay.
So no, you're right. I apparently phased out like 3 seconds of goldfish memory for a second there. But yeah, you almost get the lock open. You feel it turning. You feel like at the cusp of unlocking, and then cursed it as some mechanism in the door violently comes down and snaps your pick in half.
Fine. I will ram the door. If the ramming the door doesn't work, I'm gonna continue searching the house to see if there's something else that will open it. Deal.
Deal.
Okay.
Are you guys ramming it together, or is it just Riley ramming?
No, I'm ramming with Riley.
Both of us at the same time.
I
Okay.
would put my weight in, but I don't have much.
Okay. Strength check from all three of you at regular difficulty.
Okay.
Please.
Don't ask for much.
Please, for the love of God. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You all essentially conga line for a second. And after Rochambeauing, Riley ends up being at the front of the ram. But essentially, you all like Scooby-Doo ram into this thing. Just yeet. And Hunter, you're frantically looking around for a proper fucking hammer in this workshop, only to realize this is a clockworker's.
Just for sake of flavor here. The second I've discovered that I can't find anything larger than a clockworker's hammer, I have officially decided to start chiseling away at the wall with the tiny hammer.
And I imagine you've probably made a hole probably the size of a silver dollar, just chipping away at this.
I'm just pulling
When
what I
all
can
of a
with my
sudden you
hands.
hear bang, and then suddenly the bang creak as the door dents inward and then falls in.
My hand's just like partially in the wall at this point. Like, oh that also works. Okay. What the fuck is this door made of?
So Riley, you will take. So Riley and Crow, you take 1 point of damage from conga line slamming the door. So, but yeah. So the door is splintered. It was like that's how hard you hit it. It was like a solid oaken door that is now splintered. With how hard you Scooby-Doo rammed this. But upon inspection, you notice that in the door frame, you can see at the top of the door frame, two bars were sticking down. Two vault bars sticking down maybe 4 inches. And the only reason why the door finally gave is because these three smacked this door hard enough to bend the door enough to pull the bars from the grooves.
Oof.
This is a stupid door. I don't like this door. It's great engineering, but fuck this door.
This door in particular. You said there was a gearbox in here.
Yeah, it's in the door. I point to the big ass door on the floor. Yeah, it's down there. Two that aren't moving. We need to put it into gear, you know. Yeah.
And you
So
guys,
there are.
yeah, and you guys are definitely hear tick tock.
So how many gears aren't moving? There were 3, right?
Yep.
So there were 3 more mechanisms we should activate then to get some sort of end result.
Does anyone want to give me a spot hidden in the gear room?
Yes.
I will.
John, I swear to God.
Finally. Yes, Fortune noticed something.
You never spot hidden down there.
I'm aware. That's not what I'm yelling at you about.
Oh no, oh no. He's coming.
The game will resume after I smother my husband. No.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. You can tell everyone in this game loves ticking noises now.
Absolutely, I love
Oh yeah.
them.
All right. Fortune Seeker, You notice with kind of a glance that there's one like at the far end of the room, like you have to kind of circumnavigate where all the gears are. Well, on the other end of the room, you do notice that there are several levers. 2 are pulled downwards, and 3 are vertical.
Well, I suppose that's the end of that. That's the end of that mystery. No. No.
We get a pull the lever, crunk from Soundslay's
Oh,
Ghost.
lever! Why do we even have that lever?
But yeah, there are 3 levers that are vertical and are in the upright position, and 2 levers that are in the down position.
I'm gonna make all the levers go in the down position.
Okay. So, do you do them one at a time, or are you going to pull multiple at this multiple?
I'll do one at a time.
Okay. So the first one you pull, and we hear the mechanical clicking of what seems to be another tensioning spring being wound up, and then with that, one of the gears that was out of gear shifts into place and starts up into the mechanism, seamlessly transitioning in, which Hunter, you have a deep appreciation for how smooth this fucking mech is, because this obviously took a lot of fucking effort. This is the work of a master. So, and the gear
Insert
just
that picture of fucking Pacha going.
so, and the gear starts turning. Do you
I'll
pull
pull the
next?
next one.
Very much like the other one. The next gear that was not in gear starts going.
I pull
Now,
the third one.
The third gear pulls into place. And you notice with the third gear going into place that the entire mechanism seems to start to slow down, because now, and Hunter, you can make the assumption that because you know mechanicals very well, it's because there's a lot of work being done with this system now. And let's see here.
Did you guys find anything down there? Because this is doing a lot. Like a lot right now.
And eventually, it's like not too long after the third gear is put into place, suddenly all the gears stop. And it's not, actually, I shouldn't say so. The gears slow down and come to a stop finally. The ticking finally abates.
Remind me to make a clock that doesn't tick.
Hunter, make a sanity check.
God damn it.
Oh!
Ooh.
Ho-ho!
It's one or the other. Crit fail, stream success. No in between. Except that one time.
You regain 3 sanity because the ticking finally fucking stops. Ticking go bye-bye.
I didn't mean to click that, but you know. My bad.
But yeah, Hunter, you can surmise now that whatever tension spring was giving all the gears its energy has worn out. So, and needs to be rewound. So,
I explain as such to the group.
But it means that something might have been revealed elsewhere in the house.
Very true.
I'm going to get you, Fortune, and you, Goldlaw, to look through the house. see if you can find anything. I'm going to stay up here with Firebrand whilst you look through the house, just in case. God forbid something else happens.
Yeah.
All right. I'll go back to the first floor where I've been working then.
I will follow.
You know, you never split the party.
And you fucking do it anyway.
Well, I'm sorry. Okay, in which case then we're all going to go downstairs. I think we should all go downstairs then. Is that better? Is that better? Does that sit with everyone better?
Yes.
Fine.
Right,
But I will note, I'm just gonna pull out one of my pistols just in case as we go downstairs.
Alright.
Except with a really big sword. Then you can easily split the party.
I prefer axes myself.
So am I gonna just have to do a whole outfit design of all of Riley's weapons and where they're hidden?
Absolutely, you are. Yes.
Damn it. Okay.
If you ask nicely, maybe TK could draw that up as fan art. We could throw up at some point on the break screen.
My God.
You think I can draw guns? That's funny.
They don't have to be detailed guns.
This is
They
true.
don't even have to be guns at all. She has knives.
This is true. But she also has like 7 pistols.
Alright, so you guys are all going down to the first floor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, you guys get down to the first floor. It is quiet.
Sweet release.
Eerily quiet, though, I have a feeling.
There's no ticking, there's no music boxes going off.
I found the source of the ticking. It's a pipe bomb. Yay!
I want to go back to the rec room,
Okay.
since that's where one of the levers was, presumably.
Yeah. Lever that almost maybe started the whole thing.
Well, there were 5 levers. No, there were 5 levers and 2 were pulled. One was already pulled before Riley pulled the other lever. No, unless she she pulled it twice.
You pulled that pool cue twice.
Yeah, so maybe all she needed to do was pull it 5 times.
Is there
Yeah,
anything in
let's
the
just go to the rec room.
Yeah.
We'll figure out how we fucked the puzzle up later.
Okay. The rec room is quiet. Everything's exactly where you left it.
Is that cue back in place?
The lever? Yes.
Yeah.
It always snaps back into place. Unless someone really wants to pull it out of the wall.
I reached. No, I'm kidding.
Not that you two know about it.
No.
They said something needed to be wound up again. My plan was to have Hunter see if he can work on the mechanics, the gearbox itself. Maybe see if there's a spring that's unwound or something like that, and it needs to be rewound. But there is a likelihood that something has still changed. I suggest, since there's nothing in here, we do a sweep of the first floor, then the second floor, and if nothing's changed on those 2 floors, then we go back to the gearbox. Oh,
But
greenhouse as well.
I also want to point out, why would a curator have this in their house?
I have no idea. Why do anybody have anything in their house?
Yeah, but a puzzle is more
Yes.
than like a puzzle book.
Yeah, of course, absolutely, no, yeah, but it's still we're still, like I said, I do want to sweep the house first to make sure
Oh, yeah.
nothing has changed. If nothing has changed, then we go back to the gearbox.
I think
This
sweeping the
seems-
house is a good idea.
It
Seems
seems
like. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
it seems oddly intricate for someone who isn't hiding something.
Well, they may very well be hiding something, but what would they be hiding? We're not going to get anywhere unless we figure out what's going on with this gearbox. We can. I've already taken into account. This is all really strange. Nobody should have this in a house. Not even a curator, but it's still.
I would just like to point out that when I went in the workshop, it wasn't initially ticking and things weren't going when I first got in there. It started,
Exactly.
the door shut on me. Because I left that thing open. You know how I am. I don't like closed rooms. So I had left the door open, and then it had forcibly shut, and everything started going.
That might be because the gearbox was in the same room as you.
I don't think it's because I had proximity to wonderful machinery.
Oh, no.
That were the case.
Absolutely not. No, it's more since that's the place that you go to turn everything on. It's kind of like making sure that nobody goes in there and does anything, which makes this kind of entire house the focal point. Everything but that gearbox may be the potential focal point. What I'm saying is, we do a sweep of the first floor, then the second floor. If nothing's changed on those floors, then we go back up to that gearbox and see if we can fix it.
In worst case scenario, we burn the place to the ground and act like nothing happened.
Exactly.
I'm glad somebody's on my side with the arson for once.
For once.
Are people outside watching this house? So.
Not after we burn it to the ground. No house to watch if there's no house.
Granted, I wouldn't suggest it because Riley will pull out one of the letters that she found in the fireplace.
And oh, I see. Is there any more letters like that, or?
How many? Yeah, I found a few in a hiding spot.
Well then,
Is
if
there
you
no
don't
loose
mind.
brick in the fireplace? Everybody puts shit there.
Yes, and then Riley will put the letter back for now. Something to check out later. But that means that if there's one hiding spot, there's probably multiple.
Check those letters. Make sure that nothing's written on them. Nothing that's pertinent to the mission, pertinent to this house.
All right, I'll pull out the letters then. I'll pull them out on the pool table and open them up and see what they are. Actually, then
they are written in what appears to be gibberish.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Can I look at them and see if they're written in like Latin? If I recognize Latin or any other languages?
You take a look. There are definitely Latin characters involved. But there's other strange symbolism in there. But you do recognize that there's a lot of similarities to the reference materials that you found in the library.
Great. Latin gibberish, just like these. That I'll
Wait.
on a...
Latin and gibberish? I speak 2 of those.
Let's look at the references as well.
Yes, those. You have references? Gimme.
I mean, the letters are out on the pool table, so.
Yeah,
And
like
so are there
the ones that have already been looked over.
I say we do some code cracking here.
Okay, so, but
well, how about?
But
Sorry.
Hunter, you speak Latin?
I speak Latin, I speak Sanskrit, Fusian, and English.
Okay.
And my own language, whatever that is. Probably English, but it's, it's on there as
It's mechanical engineering
yes.
textbooks.
It's zeros and ones, that's all.
Okay, you can start trying to look through the reference material and stumble through it. I do need a language check from you in the meantime, but this would take time. Are people going to be doing other things while you are trying to look through these books?
Yes.
It's gonna take me a bit.
Okay. Take your time, no worries.
And we get to it. Which language check did you want me to
Latin.
read?
Start with Latin.
And while he's doing that, I'm going to be doing a room by room search. So,
Okay.
oh, nice.
Latin, the one thing I'm really good at.
Okay. Fortune Seeker, what room are you starting with?
I'm actually going to go up to the second floor and start in the library.
Okay.
I want to scan I want to go around the first floor real quick.
Okay. So what room are you starting in, Crow?
I'm starting in the dining room.
Okay. And then Zoe, are you checking a room by yourself, or are you going with someone? Or are you staying to help Hunter?
I feel like I would be more use, even though I don't speak Latin, to help Hunter. Maybe we could like compare symbols or whatnot.
Okay. So, all right. So spot hidden from Crow and Fortune Seeker, and then Gold Lore. You can definitely be assisting Hunter during this process. Go ahead and roll me a anthropology.
Can I push my roll on the spot hidden?
Yes, you may.
Ooh.
Ellie.
Finally,
God.
one push roll that was actually a success today.
Barely.
My first successful roll. Well, no, that's my second.
Okay, so we'll come back to Zoe and Firebrand. But so Riley, you start looking through the library, and you really don't find anything. Really, again, it's very much a general library. A lot of the books seem to be of different places and different lands. So couple novels about the Wild West here or there, but other than that, so it seems like Zoe has already found the weird thing in here.
I'm going to grab the books on the Wild West.
Okay.
Since that was what the music was themed about, so might be a code within a code, and that might be something worth grabbing.
Within a code.
Uh-huh.
So, all right, you pick up 3 books they're tales from the 3 books are Tales from the West, Wild Bill's Wild West Show, volumes 1 and 2. So, Crow, you start piecing through the dining room, and you don't find anything out of the ordinary. So the tea set moves, the table is big and fucking heavy, but with a little gumption you can at least shift it so it's not like anchored to the floor or anything. So,
well, how about that? Nothing on the only successful spot hidden that I've had. And so then I'm going to move to the living room. See if I can find anything in the living room.
A mystery wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in a gyro, wrapped in a burrito.
Taking place inside a simulation.
God
That's
damn it!
inside
Now
a
I want a
simulation.
gyro. But yeah, no. But so you're moving to the living room, Riley. Where are you moving to?
I'm gonna move to the study, since that's on the same floor, and I haven't checked it out fully yet.
Okay, spot hidden from both of you. In the meantime, Hunter, with Zoe's help, you start piecing together some bits about these reference books. There's 3 books here in Latin, and what you can identify as their titles. Was that a success or a hard success earlier? That was a hard success. You know for sure that the first one is titled Introduction to Fushing, written in Latin. So, and
Question. Am I already familiar with this book?
so you have not read this book, but you are familiar. You've heard about this book.
Cool.
What the heck is fushing?
It's a language of sorts.
Ah,
It's,
like a cipher? Like this appears to me?
no. It's weird.
Ah,
It's really not a cipher, because a cipher is kind of, just switching letters around in a language that already exists. This is an entirely different language. Yeah.
interesting.
So, but give me another Latin check at standard difficulty.
Woo!
Okay, going back to you.
I have a 90 in Latin, guys.
Yeah.
If I fail this, I'm fucking up.
Go ahead, just roll me the third Latin check. Real
Oh,
quick.
boy. Okay, we're good.
Woo!
Okay.
All of our good rolls now at this moment.
I keep hitting space to mute myself in Zoom, and the game takes that as, oh, you wanted to roll that thing again? Okay.
Yep. Okay, well, we'll come back to you because there's a lot of book stuff. In the meantime, so Riley, you enter the study, and much like Zoe, you notice that there's paperwork strewn about. It's very obvious that the other agents came in to remove certain objects. So, but you start sorting through the correspondence a little bit carefully, and you realize that it's all just mundane crud. But as you're starting to check the desk a little bit closer, you do notice that there is a false bottom in one of the drawers. And so, do you open it up?
Yes, I do.
Inside there is a packet, like a manila envelope that seems to be bulging at the seams.
I'm gonna pick up the packet and see what's inside.
It's a whole sheaf of paperwork. It looks like logs of certain artifacts going one place or another. But what is odd is that this is not sealed as a suppression bureau seal. This seems to be some other different official seal to it, one that you do not recognize. But it seems to be a ledger of certain artifacts going to other places and coming back. But a lot of it gets really in depth, like so far as to going to a specific person in a specific country and then being returned after a certain amount of times. A certain amount of time.
I want to check for two things in these logs. One, I want to check for the red scepter. And two, I want to look for any mentions of Von Braun.
Okay, so roll me library use.
Damn it.
Would you like to push your roll?
You know what? No, there are other book nerds in our party that I will
Don't-
give it to.
Don't burn down the library. I made that mistake once, and it wasn't my fault, but
Yeah.
don't do that.
I'll accept that I can't find anything, and we'll bring it eventually down to the other two. I'm fine
Okay.
with failing this one.
Yeah, just there's so much in here. Like when I say a sheaf, I'm talking like a sheaf of paper.
It's like a book.
It's like an off. No, it's more like an unopened sheaf of printer paper.
Oh.
That's a lot.
That's even worse, honestly. Like, at least a book is bound. This is just loose leaf shit going everywhere.
Well, if we want
Meanwhile,
to make a distraction.
Crow,
Hi.
so you look around your search in the living room. You're not so you look carefully, you piece through, but you do not find anything out of the ordinary other than them fucking music boxes stuck to the walls.
Well, that was an extreme success.
I know, but there's nothing there, buddy.
Why is it that every time you succeed on something, there's nothing there?
I fucking pre-wrote half of this stuff, guys.
Oh no.
Damn it.
I can't help it if your guys' rolls fucking crit on rooms that have nothing in it.
You find $10.
Yeah.
You find
Which is a lot in 20s money.
you
That's
find
like
a
$100.
nickel.
Yeah, that's a
Single-
cipher.
I'll just start flipping that, like, just something to distract my enraged brain.
Okay, we'll come and again we'll do another round of Crow and Riley before we come back to the book nerds.
I'm just going. I've got the only other place I haven't checked that we haven't actually checked. Well, it's two places we haven't checked. One's the greenhouse. One's the kitchen.
Well, I'm planning on checking the greenhouse.
Okay, if you're gonna check the greenhouse, I'm gonna check the kitchen then.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and start with the kitchen then. So the kitchen is a fairly large kitchen. This is obviously a kitchen in which the
Gordon Ramsay himself cooked.
no, it is obviously the kind of kitchen that you have the help cook in it.
Wow.
So yeah, they're like it's clear that the curator had hired help, that like a professional chef there to prepare meals. So and pretty much the big things you can immediately see off the bat is a fairly large stove, an ice box of normal size. Remember, refrigerators aren't a thing quite yet.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So ice box is fairly standard. This one's just abnormally large. A prep area with a sink inset in it. So
It's a fancy kitchen.
yeah,
For the time.
It's a stupidly fancy kitchen for the time. And then you also see all the pots and pans and utensils hanging from hooks from the ceiling, one of those ceiling kitchen gadget hangers.
It's a pot rack.
So, and then along one of the walls is a rack, a sealed off rack of what appears to be very fancy wine.
Ooh, if I've got nothing else in this room, I've got alcohol.
All right. So, spot hidden.
Spot hidden. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna push my roll. Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
You check around, and you're tempted by the wine for a moment.
You find the good alcohol.
It's in the here's the other thing is the that should also be pointed out so kindly by Burke in the chat. Remember, this is Prohibition era.
Oh, this
Shit, you found the good shit.
This is illegal.
Highly.
So
Ooh.
he obviously pays his help enough to not rat him out to the cops.
He probably pays them in the wine.
Yeah.
So,
Shit. Good. Okay.
but in checking the areas, you do notice two things that are out of the ordinary in this room.
Thank God, at least something.
One, these stoves, because again, these are not electric stoves.
These gas
At
powered.
least, so not even
It would have
gas
been
powered.
wood powered.
Oh yeah,
They're wood.
powered.
But
Jeez.
you notice that the stove itself doesn't have a latch for wood. Doesn't have like you know how like on a potbelly there's normally a door you open up to put wood in.
Mhm.
So
Doesn't have
there
that.
it doesn't have one, which is especially strange because there on a stove this size there should be multiple. And as you're studying this, you set your hand on top of the stove and you quickly pull it away when you realize it's hot. It's it's definitely warm. So
It's warm.
it's warm.
The stove that has got no wood in it is warm.
Correct.
Either this is a really advanced oven and it's electric powered. Something's up here.
And then the other thing you notice that is weird is that the icebox, when you open it up, does have food in it. And you can definitely tell that it's getting a little tepid in there. But you do notice towards the back of the icebox, there seems to be a false backing.
Hmm.
I'm going to investigate that false backing.
So, with a little finagling, you open up the false backing, and in the back of the icebox, it seems to open up into like a small shoebox sized hole.
Mm-hmm.
In there is a wrapped package of some sort.
Gonna unwrap that package.
Okay, so you grab the package. So, and are you going to open it up right away, or are you going to take it somewhere else?
No, I'm unwrapping it right this second.
Okay, we'll come back to you.
Ooh, that's something.
Yep.
Something good.
So, Riley.
Mhm.
So you went to the greenhouse, correct?
Yeah.
The greenhouse is surprisingly well kept. Like you can tell that if machines was this person's first love, plants were definitely a second. Cuz the greenhouse is filled with various flowers. There seems to be and like when I say greenhouse, this is more like a room that has just a glass ceiling and wall facing west. So with the setting sun. So and in here you can see all sorts of plants and vegetation here. So a couple veggie plants. So it's very well kept, very organized in here too. So almost every plant is clearly marked.
We're fighting Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy, according to chat.
So
I'm out of sheer curiosity. Is there opium in here?
there doesn't seem to be any poppy plants in here, no.
Dang. Okay.
Damn.
So
Right.
So much for your get-rich-quick scheme.
go ahead.
Riley's.
So go ahead and roll me a spot hidden if you're going to start looking around for things that
Yeah.
are not obvious. Would you
I
like to push?
am going to push it. Much better.
Okay. So you start looking through here, and one of the things that strikes you as odd right off the bat is that as you start moving plants, is that it seems like the soil is wet. Like, recently wet. So, and you notice that there seems to be some sort of, like, irrigation system that's not running currently. So that's one thing that you immediately notice. Upon closer inspection of the room, you do notice that outside of pleasure plants of just flowers and vegetables, so there do seem to be some very rare plants in here. So, and very hard to keep plants as well. We're talking like lotus plants and God, I'm reaching for a certain plant name and a certain flower name in my head that's just notoriously hard to keep, and it's escaping me at this moment.
Roses.
Roses are actually pretty low maintenance compared to some.
If you can keep them alive.
Fuck, what are they called?
Cacti?
Iris.
Yeah, irises. Thank you.
Iris and orchids are also
Orchids.
really hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
orchids are very
irises
expensive.
were what I was after. Thank you. And they are absolutely beautiful plants. But you notice as you're examining one though, in the soil, slightly obscured, seems to be a box halfway buried in the dirt.
Good night.
Night. I am gonna pull the box out,
Okay. So,
and
do you open it?
yeah, I want to open it.
Okay, we'll come back to you.
Yep.
So, the book pair here, so the book nerds. So you have translated the titles of each of the books.
I'm so sorry.
Introduction to Fushine in Latin. So, Frost Night in Winter in Latin. And The Journey Below in Latin. And upon your inspection of the letters, you notice that there does seem to be some form of cipher fuckery going on that is a combination of Fushine and Latin. So,
I'm glad we're starting to get answers.
so
Whoever wrote this is an asshole, and I want him to die because fuck this. You see this shit, right? Look at this. And I point out this one phrase. This half is in Fushine. This other half is in Latin, and that's in a cipher. Who the fuck? This is like alchemist level bullshit.
So if you wish to try to start cracking the cipher, you can either make so you can start off by making a... Oh, I thought there was a skill related to this. Hold on one second.
I thought there was as well.
I almost wonder if we should just do this back at the bureau, though, depending on what time of day it is.
That's a good shout, actually.
So it is about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
And we want to be there before dark.
It's been 3 o'clock. Good.
Yeah, we've been at this place for almost 4 hours in this fucking house, game time wise.
No, I'm doing what I'm getting back then.
I could have sworn there was a cipher, like a cipher decode skill in here.
I thought
Yeah.
there was, but
It might have gotten swapped out.
Removed. The natural world, whatever that is.
In this case, to start decoding it, it's going to be a combination of Zoe providing either anthropology or archaeology at hard difficulty, and then from Wallace, we need Fusine and Latin at hard difficulty.
Alright. We'll start with the one that I'm good at.
So, Zoe, would you like to push your roll?
I'll wait
Yep,
until
I'll do that.
okay, I'll wait till after you're done.
I believe in you.
Damn. Alright, so Latin and Fusine it hard for both.
Correct.
Yeah.
The one I'm good at. And now the other one I'm not so good at. Yeah, that's right.
Would you like to push your roll?
I'm not going to voice this thought that I just had because that's giving people ideas, and I don't want that to happen. So
it's a very small chance that you'll get the same number again.
yeah. Yeah, let's try it. Even worse.
Well, you didn't get the same number again.
No, I didn't. I got a worse number.
The Latin makes sense. The
Yeah.
Latin is not the difficult part here. The weird fuckery going on is when this other bizarro language gets thrown in, and so you're having a very difficult time of kind of following the thought train here, on trying to piece how this guy may have put this together. So because there's a lot of logic here that is just not making cognizant sense. Hunter, you're really grasping. Again, the Latin, easy peasy. You studied it for years. The Fusine, which is still relatively new to you and came at no uncertain cost to even learn in the first place.
We don't talk about that.
But it's just the structure is so different that you're constantly catching yourself as you realize, wait, nope, that's not a noun, that's a verb, and then you realize, oh no.
But in this context, it's an adverb.
Yep. So, and then also you realize, oh, and these two letters together are a vowel cluster.
The M and the H make a V sound because there is no letter V.
Correct. Like,
And then this weird little squiggle makes an ah sound because there is no A.
so,
See how little sense it makes? It's bullshit.
but yeah. So
Yeah.
you guys are struggling a bit, and the camera is going to pan out, and we see it split into two screens as we watch as Crow and Riley both simultaneously open their objects. Crow, in your package that you found behind the icebox, it seems to be an idol of some sort. So it seems to be a little gold statuette of some dude in the lotus position, but the thing that is off-putting is that he has a third eye in some form of red gemstone and what looks like a snarling face on the back of his head.
Ugh,
and as you touch it with your fingers, you feel a sense of unease. Sanity check.
Oh dear.
Sorry, I didn't mean to roll a track roll there. My bad. I misclicked. Either way, I suck.
A sanity check, you said, right?
Sanity.
Ooh.
Phew.
You
I'll really
immediately
feel
recognize
like
the fact that this is
somebody's
indeed some
watching
form of artifact. You are unsure of the potency. Do you drop it?
No. I'm not gonna drop it because that could only make things worse.
We'll come
However,
back to
I
you.
am no, hold on. I'm going. I'm gonna put some gloves on before I handle this any further.
Nope. You would have had to call it before you did it.
Oh my.
So he
Nope.
can't like put
Okay,
it
no,
down
I'm-
and put gloves on and not have it get worse.
Okay, you know what? Then I'm gonna drop it.
Okay, you drop it, and it plunks off the floor. Riley, you open this box, and this is a ornate box. So you're noticing. So it seems to be made of some form of polished wood. And you open it, and inside you find a little statuette. Inside is a silver person sitting in the lotus position. And the thing that strikes you is that it has a third eye in that of a sapphire. And on the back of its head seems to be a face that is in laughter. When you touch it, you start to feel a tingling sensation. Sanity check.
Oh no.
Y'all over here with your connections and parallel shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you good.
Ooh.
I have really good sanity, guys.
Oh,
Yeah, you do.
You
You're like, I've dealt with some shit. This is fine.
Yeah.
This time, this is where the link comes in handy because you call up. You definitely can feel a little bit of a connection on Crow's training here that pulls out the pertinent info. This is definitely an artifact of some description. You are unsure of its class. You just know that it is something that is affected by touching. Do you drop it?
I'm just gonna close the box.
No, because you have it in your hand.
Oh, did I take it out of the box?
Yep.
Yes.
I want to put it back in the box and close the box.
Okay, you do it so hurriedly. And as soon as you put it back in the box, you definitely stop feeling the tingling sensation.
I'm gonna take the box with me when I leave. But there was something else. It was okay. So I noticed that it was irrigation. Can I get any seeds of the rare plants, by the way?
Roll me natural world.
Okay,
Oh,
probably
no.
not. Nope,
Nope.
that's fine. Damn it. Okay,
No cocaine for you.
I had to try.
Yep.
This is Riley.
But yeah. So we pan out, and the camera is going to split into 4 screens, overlooking our forecast members as they are doing their various tasks. Crow is staring at this artifact on the floor in a little bit of nervousness and a little bit of terror. So Riley is probably coming downstairs to meet up with the book nerds. The book nerds are slamming their head against the table, wondering what the fuck is this cipher.
Especially Zoe, because she doesn't even know Latin. It's like,
The Latin makes sense. This is understandable. This letter is this, and that letter is that, and that's fine. The problem is with this bullshit. Look at this thing. What even is this? This is like 3 different ciphers in one.
And suddenly,
Ow.
you hear someone is knocking at the door. And that is where we're going to end for tonight.
Oh, shit.
Really?
Son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is where we are going to end tonight's session because we are pushing 4 hours here pretty quick. I appreciate everyone out there in Twitch land. Lots of great back and forth with Bracarius, Mage Chitin, Pyromaniac 101, and Soundwave's Ghost. Thank you all for popping in and viewing our fun little adventure into madness here. So, it's always good to see members in the chat. So, but yeah, so just as a reminder, this is part of our Extra Life charity drive. So definitely check the links down below in the doobly-doo for YouTube's or down below in the screen here. So it really does go to a good cause. But in the meantime, let's do some outros. Let's start with Hunter. So, aka TK Senpai, who are you? What do you do? And where can people find you?
Hi, I'm TK. I do stuff. Hi. I'm gazing for stars here on Twitch. So if you see my shit in there, that's just me having commentary without wanting to bother people. I go by Gazing for Stars and TK Senpai on everything. I'm the resident furry, so if you want furry shit, come find me on Fur Affinity. I also stream here on Twitch on occasion. I haven't done that in a while. Might do that tomorrow for more Blackout Club. We'll see.
Excellent. As one thing that they forgot to mention, they also do all the artwork too for all my overlays too. So like so all their stuff is cool. So definitely hit them up if you're looking for good artwork. Moving to Miss O'Reilly, aka Scythe.
Hello, I am Scythe, also known as Shadow Scythe on everywhere. You can find me here on Twitch. I haven't been streaming lately. Should eventually get back to that, but I'm also really active on Twitter, of course, at twitter.com/ShadowScythe. I also have a Redbubble account, which is redbubble.com/ShadowScythe. I am working on putting up an Etsy store, so keep posted on that. Follow me on Twitter. You'll probably get updates on that shortly.
Phenomenal. And then Gold Lore, aka Quirky Kitty.
Hi, I make websites. Check me out at wonderfulwitchoftheweb.com. Got website personalized, change colors. It's got a night mode like Kindle. Most of my sites have that, so if you need one, hit me up. Don't go to all those cookie cutters. But I understand they're easy, they're quick. But come on, mine will be more fun. I am also on Twitter at webwitch81000. Shortstuff81000 at deviantart.com. Sometimes I'll post my 3D art there. But yeah, I'm mostly active on Twitter, so follow me, please. All right.
Excellent.
Ah,
Kitty cat. Kitty. And then last but not least is Mr. Crow, aka the Devil.
Hello. I am currently doing something else with my friend on YouTube. It's called Mythical Wings. It's a YouTube channel that me and my friend do voice dubs on, and occasionally maybe some art. You might see some art there at some point. But apart from that, I'm just an amateur voice actor. If you need any voice acting stuff, contact me via the YouTubes or nowhere else, because there isn't anything else. Or you can find me on the 15th Circle of Hell. So yeah.
Excellent.
It's a lot of stairs, guys. There's no elevator. Just
Oh my God.
YouTube it. Just
Don't-
YouTube it. Trust me.
No, don't get me started with stairs.
Like, you'd think it'd just be like, oh, 15 flights, that's rough, but it's not that bad. You could do it, right? No.
No.
And then some asshole
No.
comes up and kicks you down the stairs,
Exactly.
and then you fall down 15 flights of stairs.
And you've gone 15 flights past the level you need to be, and then you have to go up, and then you have to go through the maze.
Not to mention all the stairs are made of broken glass.
It's
Oh.
it's awful, guys. Don't just YouTube him. Much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, YouTube me. Much easier.
And ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, the Keeper of Lore and Fate, and General Scrub, Mr. Jodo 1025. Obviously, I run this every other Saturday, so our next session should be. Let me pull up the calendar just so that way I don't start talking out of my rumpus.
The 18th looks like.
Correct. The 18th of April. Over here at twitch.tv/Jodo1025 for Operation Cathedral. I also run another campaign called Titans of Moran, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign every other Wednesday. So we will be getting into session this upcoming Wednesday, the 8th. Yes, the 8th for Titans of Moran. But I also have some fun stuff also coming down the pipeline. Like tomorrow on this channel, we are hosting a fundraiser for Black Hills Community Theater with the Entertaining a Thespis, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure run by a local theater folk by the name of Joe Westlow. He is a phenomenal actor. We're bringing in various actors from different agencies in to participate. I know Mr. Hartley, Miss Green, Mr. Mills. So Jevil probably remembers Mr. Mills, aka Short John Silver or whatever that he played for the
Short John Bronze.
John Bronze.
So, and myself. And so as far as what I've had explained to me, it is a campaign based around a performing troupe, and I will be playing Gitgob, the short, very ill-tempered goblin warlock who is the manager of the troupe slash business person.
I was gonna say, don't all of you have to have at least one level in Bard?
No, that's something he stated. So
I would have done that, but I'm an actor.
so.
I mean, you did do that.
I did do that, yes.
So, but that'll be here tomorrow, 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and we run until done? Question mark. So I'm being told it's about 6 hours, but well, we've seen how that kind of goes on this channel.
Ha ha
So-
ha ha ha.
And then not this on the 11th, so long as everybody is able to, we will also be having the Terrible Tarask Task Part 2, because our one shot, we never get through a one shot on this channel. So it's
Absolutely not.
so that one's turned into a two-parter. So that should be a lot of fun. That one's an Extra Life charity fundraiser. So, and your donations do make a difference. I think I'm going to start making it standard that donations do things in all of our games. That it's
Ooh.
going to be something that I have to run through all the casts and, figure out a way we can implement that where it's not going to kill me or any of the storylines I am putting together. So, but for now, ladies and gentlemen, I hope we brought a little bit of entertainment to your day. A lot of swearing at dice, but what else is new? But ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're staying safe out there. Stay safe, sane, and healthy. Let the only insane people, or the people who are going insane, be these four mooks. But take care of yourselves. Be kind to one another. And we will see you on the next one. Ladies and
Play
gentlemen,
video games.
enjoy your evening.